Oh, as a warning to the group, we're live. Happy Sunday night, and welcome to Favored Allies. It's been a couple weeks. Last week we took a week off to kind of chat in Ember's Only Lounge about the game. Um, when we last left off, our party had just had a pleasant dinner, just casual dinner, with the grandmother of the mountain. An old entity on the north branch of the Bogspine Mountains, talking about things that the party might want. Some things were traded, some intentionally, and some not quite as intentionally. And some great boons were earned at a cost. Now we have our party bedded down on the path in the grandmother's forest, preparing to bed down for the night. You know, you have roughly a week of travel through a little bit of forest and then primarily marshlands as you approach the Temple of the Moon in a mountain not far from where Mama comes from. So,
Mm.
who's taken the first watch?
If it's dark, Callie can. Mm. I like to take the night watch because she can see a little better.
All right. Anybody joining you, or is everyone else just getting the rest?
Just me and Val probably. Val'll stay up.
All right. Uh, deep snoring. Callie, go ahead and give me a perception check. You can either make it with advantage, or you can look and Val can look.
Let's see. Hey, Val is just not paying attention. He's like chasing a butterfly or something. Uh, Kelly's perception's 21, and Val got, I think, like a 13. Not terrible, but not great.
Yep. As you look around, you notice that in this area, immediately close to presumably the grandmother's home, um, you don't see signs of larger creatures over here. No deer tracks, or even in the path here, you haven't seen like bear scratchings on the trees or anything like that that you might expect to see in this kind of forest. Um, you do notice a large number of birds kind of passing through. They look to be like some sort of carrion bird. Um, but as you watch, one lands on a tree, I don't know, 20 feet ish from you, um,
Hmm.
up on a middle branch, and you get a good look at it. And it looks like a large crow, essentially.
Hmm.
Um, but as you look towards the bird itself, you see that its head actually looks as though it were a human skull with a beak. And it just
Uh,
kind of like tilts its empty eye hole towards you,
mm,
just kind of chirps at you a bit
mm.
before flying off. And you can see there must be dozens of these just kind of passing by through the canopy. But you make it through your uh, uh, watch uneventfully.
Do I, it seems, I'm guessing probably no. Would I have any idea if this is like a real nature creature or some kind of like magical mishmash?
Go ahead and give me a nature check and give me that
Okay,
with advantage.
alrighty. Oh boy. Oh no. Nature check incoming. Here we go. Wow. Apparently I read up on shit. My subscription to Weird Things Weekly. Natural 20 plus 5, 25.
25. Um, you've seen these occasionally. They tend to be in some of the more dangerous parts of bogs that are known to have maybe a lot of superstition around them. Whether it's that there's some dangerous creature, some maiden of the bog that you could seek out for aid, or some other dangerous creatures that are typically like more intelligent things. They tend to be in areas that you hear a lot of folk tales about,
Mm.
and so you see these ones up here, and it just sort of jibes with what you know because you've seen them before, and usually the uh, what someone would say is, if you see these death's head crows,
Mm.
that it's you should probably just go back the way you came.
Oh, okay.
But it occurs to you, you've probably seen the most dangerous thing around here that they might be signifying.
Yeah. What was it, like a fire chimera or dire chimera? Something chimera, right? The baby and the mama.
The Hellfire Wyvern?
Hellfire wyvern. Thank you. Sorry.
You actually think it probably has more to do with the grandmother of the mountain being
Fair.
rooted.
Fair. 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 All right. Thank you.
Um, but you tag out. Who's taking second watch?
I'll take it.
Mama, you taking a solo?
I guess so.
Okay, do it.
Well, okay. I'm going to take a solo one. That's the way to go. That was a
I
natural
need
20
my spells.
plus 9.
Oh, okay, so we're just getting all our natural 20s out of the way here. So with
Yeah,
a 29, Mama, you hear kind of on the edge of your hearing, almost like you're not even sure if it's um, just you hearing things at first. It's been known to happen. But no, you hear a small child laughing. It's kind of a deep laugh, like maybe an orcish child or uh, not necessarily an elf or human, you would think. Um, and then you hear a small chorus of children. Some really high pitched kind of grating sound that almost sounds like maybe a goblin child laughing. And then a couple other maybe humans or elf children just at the very edge of your hearing. Um, and you hear it off and on, but definitely once you notice it, you start realizing it's pretty constant. Like it happens and you'll hear it way off to one side in the distance and then way off to the other side and it'll be like a different group of voices kind of down the path in the direction that you're heading mostly. And you can kind of hear just a lot of children's voices, like laughing, playing, not sure what they're actually saying. But you do hear a good number of them, and they seem to be primarily elven, some smaller voices, so maybe gnomes or halflings. Actually, with that roll, you can actually pick out like these don't sound like gnomes; they sound specifically like halflings. There's a good number of halflings in the bog spines. Um, a number of orcs, a number of a few goblins, but like this mix, and hardly any humans. Primarily elves, and then orcs, and then the others.
would there be any stories that maybe other druids have said or told about the mountains that I would know?
Oh, so as you think about this, it doesn't seem to be the druids themselves. It's more like the common folk tend to have stories about children getting lost in the woods and becoming a danger, turning into something else, being twisted by spirits or what have you. You've heard stories of people bringing children or sending children as food to the grandmother in the mountain. A lot of things like that. So like these are things that like it kind of touches on a lot of things, but as far as like what children laughing in the forest means, you don't necessarily know. The only thing is, given where you're at, and there's just something off about their laughs, it seems like whatever it is, it's probably more dangerous than just children playing.
But it doesn't get any closer.
It doesn't get any closer. It sounds like they're pretty far off in the forest. Like it's like echoing through the forest, and you're just with that 29 able to pick up on that, and that there are many of them out there.
Ugh. Thank you.
Um, and also with the 29, you notice something moving up in the trees above you, almost directly above camp. Um, as you kind of glance up, your elven eyes that let you see more clearly in the dark, you look up and you just see what looks like maybe spider legs, something skittering up high, but it doesn't quite look like a spider. It looks like something kind of top heavy. It's it's just on the edge of your vision, and with a 29, you were just essentially able to see that there's something up there.
Does it kind of remind me of the grandmother of the mountains legs that I saw coming out of the rock?
No, I would say if anything, because this is relatively small, like the size of a cat.
Okay. Oh, cat
And
size. Okay.
if anything, you would say it looks like it's moving on like insect legs.
Okay, great. So, cat, daddy long legs. What a great camp we have set.
Um, and at the end of Mama's shift, since you're both elves, that's the end of your long rest. You all can start getting prepped and packed up for the day. Be sure to change up your spells if you're one of the people who can do that.
I wish.
All right.
Yeah, nope, we got what we got.
Are you continuing to head down the westward path to where it will presumably swing south and back around?
Yes. Yeah. We're still. Yeah, we want to get back on the path for sure.
Yeah.
To double check, just so I understand, are we turning around and going back the way that we went, or are we trying to do like a loop?
So if you go back the way you went, you'll lose another day going back and getting essentially where you started. If you continue down this way, as best as you could tell from what you were instructed, you will actually gain about half a day continuing down this way versus just going straight back.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because you'll like head south, loop around, and meet, like the main path that you would be looking for. If you
And
double
this is
back,
taking us
if you
deeper
double
into the woods.
Yes, this is taking you deeper into the woods. Further down the mountainside and down into the valley, which is presumably less impacted by the grandmother's presence than necessarily the part of the woods you're in right now. And if you were to head directly back, you would lose that about half a day, but you would also be back on the path that leads you towards that huge moving tree thing, the tree shepherd.
Hmm.
So that's kind of a you call.
We could try to see the tree shepherd on the way back, because we have to go back this way in some way, shape, or form anyway.
Yeah, I think time on our way to our destination is the biggest priority. And then if we have an excess of it on the way back, we can make these side trips. But
Mhm.
you guys have an appointment which you should not miss.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
All I can say is that if we see any small children, just don't. From what I heard yet last night, we don't want to fool with them. So you stay on this path, all of us. And if a horse goes off the path, well, goodbye horse. And I do a ritual casting so that the horses can understand me too.
All right.
Do you tell us like what kind of children?
Oh yeah,
These
I go
horses
into the full detail for all of that. I'm
Okay.
not keeping any secrets on that creepy stuff. No.
Then, as Mama says this, I think Derek kind of saunters up to Callie. He's like, "You're your children. They don't like hold grudges, right? Like across dimensional planes of existence, breathing. They wouldn't. They're not the type to just let bygones be bygones, are they?"
My people? Do you mean speaking elves?
Yeah, tall, lanky one.
Oh, well, no, I reckon if a spirit could reach out and throttle you, he probably would. Elves live a long time, and that's a long time to remember.
What the hell? I'm the one that should be mad. There's barely any meat on the bones, especially the little ones. All lanky little bastards. Like I couldn't find any dwarven kids because they, don't hang out around here as much. The human ones are right. I should be the one haunting them. Perfectly honest.
Well, that's like a little mental quandary for you to boggle about, I suppose. I don't really have much to say about potential huntings and things like that. I'm more concerned about the things I can take care of with my bow or magic.
Out of
Fair enough.
curiosity, because I don't remember if this is included, the paladin, like not paladin, the ranger, like what is in my immediate vicinity stuff, does that include undead? I don't remember.
It does.
Okay.
Are you talking about like using my abilities to sense my favorite enemies?
No, I think it's primeval awareness.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't remember, because everything has its own list of like what it affects or whatever, and I don't remember if undead is on that list or not. But
It is.
yeah,
It
I mean,
is.
if we,
Yeah,
I mean, 10 to 1, if you use that, you're gonna get Fae, and if we're still within the Wyverns, you're gonna get dragons, and if you're still like, I don't know exactly how much it would help us any, but
well, the thing about it is it would just
let's
tell me
go
that
for it.
such a creature exists in a mile, but not the location or number. It's
Yeah.
just like, but it's useful, but not super useful.
Yeah, and Kelly, I would say like you know that you get a general vibe. So like for example, like you might sense that there's some or a few undead, or you could also like if you were in an undead city, if such a thing were to exist, you could search there and you would know you were in an undead city, right? You couldn't say that there's like 10,000 within a mile of me, but you have a sense that it is an overwhelming number within a mile versus like some small handful.
Gotcha. Yeah, but I had to use a spell to figure this out, and I don't.
Also
I feel
that.
like Grandmother Mountain is tolerating us for now. Like we're in good graces, not bad. So we are less likely to be bothered by anything she has direct control over. But that should not mean we are not cautious and should continue to follow rules.
How much further is it to the temple from where we are currently?
About a week.
I'll go up to Derek and say, if you ever want me to, I can perform a ritual of atonement. Although I think if you do not feel, remorse, it may not work as well.
I don't think they'll feel remorse. What do they care about my bottom dollar?
Well, no, on you. If you wish to atone for anything with regards to these children, I could perform a ritual related to that, if that was ever something you're interested in.
Huh. Interesting. I see what you're getting at. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's all. Might
So let's
actually
keep
look into that.
going. Yeah, we need to get them wiggle on.
All right.
Don't want to be here any longer. Ugh.
So first off, I need a D12 from somebody. And you are traveling under the mother's protection, so despite how dangerous this place is, you're rolling and you're looking for anything under a 10.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pop it. That is going to be a 2.
2 is under a 10. So survival check from whoever's leading. I about called somebody out and I realized it's all your calls, who's leading, but you know.
Presumably Callie or Mama in this case.
Callie.
Yeah.
Callie, I hold up the rear.
And Callie, you can, as you're coming up, you can smell like a light, sort of, a light scent of like decay or rotting plant matter on the wind. You can smell water, and just the faint hint of peat. You are very close. Probably by the end of today, you will be in your favorite terrain.
Yeah, yay! But also dangerous. Yay!
So I took water walk last night.
Nice.
All right, Callie.
I will let especially Mama know that. Yeah, because these horses are meant more for mountain walking, like so they're
They
not
actually
necessarily.
they're not the
They're-
worst. They have almost like camel hoof kind of hooves that are
Yeah.
meant to like splay out on the soft ground, but like you still taking them straight through a bog is not their ideal.
Yeah, so we'll kind of like to prepare them mentally for we're changing terrains. And like you're gonna probably you might get wet, you may not, because Mama's pretty good. But we are heading that way, and that's interesting. It's like a little bog in the middle of the mountain. Huh.
Can I ask
Let
a
the
quick?
horses know.
Well, you're heading southward. It's like you've
Yeah.
curved around and you're heading down into the valley.
Okay.
But yeah, the survival check. What was that?
Sorry, I'll do a survival. And then Colin, I think it is a question or something.
For Hazel, yeah.
16
Yeah.
plus 6 is 22.
All right. So you manage, Kelly, you keep everybody on the path, and as you kind of the swing south later in the day and start curving back around, you can see the path kind of starts to disappear as the ground gets softer, and it seems like you've moved off of the mountainside proper, and immediately with that survival check, immediately there's like just a different vibe to the swampy forest where you can see there are large predators that travel around, for better or for worse. You can see there's a lot more varied flora. um, you do notice with that 22 a number of small footprints along the side of the road while you travel down the mountain. You don't encounter anyone, but small humanoid footprints, again, probably children sized, of various humanoid sizes and shapes, both small and large creatures, or small and medium creatures.
Okay. Bear footprints, you said though, right?
Yeah, barefoot.
Okay.
Before we get too deep into this, out of curiosity, because I don't know the lore of this area as well. Um, what was it? Sister Icy Heart is around the glaciery ice area that we left, and then it was the grandmother of the mountains. What are the likelihood that this bog that is, let's say, kitty corner to those two might be the home of a certain entity that we may have tangled with in the past?
Is
When
there
you
a
say
reason why
entity,
you're
do you
not
mean
using name?
Yeah, on
Like,
the off chance she can hear us and it will get her attention.
oh God. How's my old brain supposed to remember anything
Miss
when people
E,
talk
you
in
mean?
riddles?
Yeah, good old,
Oh God.
yeah,
Oh,
good old,
there we go.
yeah,
Malfluid, yeah, yes.
yeah.
Huh.
Just something to think about. The kid prints are weird. That's weird. Unless I don't know, the orphans stayed here the whole time, and the food that went back was something else, which I guess is a good ending to whatever that story is.
Is there like an equivalent myth to Gryla in our world? You know, the Christmas witch who has like Yule Boy ghosts.
Sorry, what?
I'm gonna say no because I don't know what you're talking about. So that
Oh, in Iceland, there's like an ogre witch named Gryla, and she's like part of the like, you know how there's like a Krampus at Christmas. Yeah, Gryla is sort of like that. She's a mischievous um creature who only comes for naughty children and eats them if they're bad. But she has these spirits that travel with her called her Yule Boys, and they do pranks and stuff, and she keeps them in line all throughout the year. But people say like they hear their laughter, they're giggling, they're these ghosts that she's like collected.
you boys is just like the shittiest Grease like subculture 50s
that's
gang
exactly
that,
what I
like,
pictured.
Well,
Like they
we're
were
the
like
Yule boys.
they were from the fucking Warriors. They just didn't make it to screen time.
They're trying to go down Main Street in a fucking sleigh. They're just
I also missed that part, and I heard you'll play ghosts, and I was trying to figure out what that was supposed to be the first time you said it.
Yogurt,
It's-
you know.
Yeah, that's what I was
It's like
confused.
ectoplasm. with
as far
for a
as-
strawberry
ghost on the go.
So as far as the
Ghost Kurt.
oh,
Laurie, that was really good.
Oh wow.
and we're back. So as far as like stories of like a hag-like entity, a witch, or what have you, taking children who are bad, those stories certainly exist. So that's like one aspect of it. Them keeping the children around. A lot of the stories are intentionally vague as to what happens to the children after they go to those entities. It's usually assumed that they're eaten. Most of them are retold as morality tales for children, so they don't necessarily care what happens to the children afterwards. It's just something bad. So, like, as you kind of think through that, you're like, they leave out the important parts.
Okay. Well, I
Fair
guess we
enough.
just keep an eye out.
All right. But yeah, with a 2 on your roll and with a really high survival check, you do manage to keep further away from anything that looks particularly dangerous. You notice as you first kind of come down, and you're not 100% sure if you're out of the Grandmother of the Mountains region, you do see there's like this whole part of the bog that's like coated in spider webs, and the path goes directly into there. But with your survival check, you do realize that you're definitely outside of the mother's area, and you kind of, you know what, we don't need that path anymore. It's not going to do any good things for us. And you manage to scoot around and skip one of the areas with a pretty gnarly encounter.
Whew. Hooray.
Yay.
Welcome to your favorite terrain.
Yay! Woohoo! I feel a little better, sit up a little straighter, and talk to Thorn about all the swampy goodness. And also Val, too, because I imagine he like curls up behind my saddle and kind of like getting a look out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And Val's starting to get big. It's kind of more like big dog sized at this point, approaching like a Great Dane.
Oh boy.
So your horse is walking still okay, but a little bit like it's a hefty boy.
Yeah. Yeah. If he gets too big, yeah, I'll get him walking.
Yeah, he's still technically a small creature, so still doing okay. All right. So you start looking for camp. Go ahead and give me a survival or nature check to find camp.
Alrighty. Back here. Definitely wasn't
Assisting.
looking at
Mama's
Yeah,
the weird
Mama's
Christmas witch.
assisting, so you're getting the help action.
Thank you. Slightly better. With my survival, 23. 17 plus 6.
23. You do notice with the 23, there's one spot that looks like a ring of trees, a nice little grove that like is protected, looks pretty clear. But as you approach it with the 23, it feels like just a little bit too enclosed. And also, as you're kind of looking at it, you don't know what it means, but you see what looks like a desiccated head inside the hole, like a knot hole of one of the trees. Its eyes are like kind of like dried back, so and the actual eyeballs are like shriveled, so it's kind of like the shriveled, but the skin is still kind of leathery. And as you look at it, you're just like, something's hitting you wrong about this little spot. You can choose to check it out or not, but with the 23, you definitely don't decide to camp there.
Yeah, again, time is a important thing right now, so let's just give it a berth and find something better.
Sounds good. And you do find like a slightly elevated dry spot. It's got a large tree on one side, so you can get protection from one side, but you still have great visibility to the swamp around you. You feel like you're far enough from the an actual water line that nothing well, specifically gators. No gators are going to sneak up on you. You've got, a good 10, 15-foot clearance.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. Setting up for the night. Let's go ahead and who's taking first watch?
I'll take it. And
You don't need to sleep
Callie,
all the time. Yeah.
why don't you take it with me?
All right. I'll have Val go sleep by Tosha.
All right. Go ahead and start it.
Post up by Mama.
So, Callie, I'm mad at you.
I figured. Callie's like sitting by Mama, but has been like pointedly like not looking directly at her for like several, like just sensing the scolded child moment. Yeah.
As a parent, I would never, ever ask of those I love to give up part of themselves for me, no matter how important my journey might be to me. And I know that it came from the best place. And I know that you come from people who are kind of like my people, where we take care of one another, regardless of blood. But, darling, you gotta take care of yourself better than that.
Well, to be forthright, the penance I received was not what I was expecting. She threw me a little bit of a curveball, but Mama, I have to say, it's something that you may not have asked, and in the grand scheme of things, you losing the ability to recall something, as certainly as it relates to this, is far more detrimental to all of elfkind than me not being able to recall one creature. And
Now,
it's
you
just
didn't
you
let
can
me
do so much
finish,
more good.
child.
You
Lord, you
never
didn't let
stop,
me finish.
Mama.
I know, but moon bless, Lord, I will never be able to thank you enough. For me, for our people, and I will owe you every day till I can't remember what I am or I'm a tree. You know, it's one of the two. Kind of a strange looking forward, to be honest, but I'm mad at you, but I will never stop being so grateful for you that I can hardly be alive. I just can't believe how lucky I am to travel with someone so selfless. Now, that said, stop asking questions of witches. Lord have mercy. Especially hags, especially in the woods with weird dinner tables. Lord, you never know what you're going to get.
You know,
That
like
is not an appetizer.
I hadn't intended to go to dinner at all, but
Well,
if you don't look
you,
a gift hag in the mouth, you ask a question.
and if you think you're the only one I'm going to be having this conversation with, you are sorely mistaken. I saw, or rather, she showed me an image of Olive. Now, she had also brought a gift. Now, she's a hag, and what she showed me might have been an illusion. I'm just real glad to know she's alive out there somewhere. But somewhere she didn't listen to my lessons when she was a little girl, and she gave a witch a gift. Now,
Mm.
let's have a drink and be done with it. And we
Sounds
just
good to
keep
me.
watch.
Yep.
and I drink to your health and your honor, and I will hold on to memories of dragons as long as my brain will let me.
Appreciate that. Maybe write it down so I could try to learn, but I don't know.
I'll just have to, I'll just, train all my kin to be a guide, a dragon guide. Hell,
Mm,
you could meet Olive one of these days. She's a dragonborn. She's phenomenal.
I would like that.
You think I'm wild? Lord have mercy.
Kind of dragonborn is she? As I know Val can change types. Does Olive have a type?
Ornery, more than
Alright.
anything. Her mama
Mm,
was a great hero. Her dad was a good for nothing. But Ashy was a great one. Uh, and Olive's gonna be just like her. She's gonna, she's a barbarian.
mm.
She has a shorter temper than I do, so it's amazing I'm the only one who's punched someone. Ashriel was just one of the greats, and Olive's gonna be just like her.
Well, with a mama like you in her corner, I cannot see how it would be otherwise.
We shall see. She's a fiercely lovely one. I gotta say that. Beautiful. Just a beautiful girl. Love her
Mm,
so much. She's got, kind of green skin and, well, scales technically.
mm.
Uh, Green eyes. I mean, she's just a ferocious, lovely lady.
Well, maybe sometime we can have a super weird big family dinner with mine and yours.
Uh, that would be super weird, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, Lord. I'm
Mm.
just talking about my side of the family. I'm sure your side's lovely.
Well, just given the history between our two clans, but that book that relates us all back, like that could change. I mean, that should change everything. Why are we fighting over who's better?
Mm.
It's something well, for one, I never understood, but I had the fortune of meeting some very good folk from your area, one in particular. But, we are all prideful in our way, and I do have some pride myself, but this has just gone on too long.
I agree. We gotta settle some messes, that's for sure.
And like during their watch, Callie will point out that sometimes when Val snores, a little bit of whatever element he currently is like comes out of his nose. So if it's like if he's fire, it's like a little poof, like a little poof of fire and smoke.
Poor Tosha.
It's magical. It doesn't hurt.
All right. Give me.
Sorry?
He's a magic dragon and he's snoring. It's not like it's gonna like burn Tosha alive. She might just feel like a
Oh, is all
slightly
the
bit
fire
warmer.
that he normally breathes just illusionary then?
He
What
doesn't
do you mean
breathe
magic
fire
doesn't hurt?
normally.
He's literally breathing fire!
No, he didn't.
Oh,
You
the
just said he is.
magic dragon.
Not in his like awake
Bum,
moments.
bum,
He's
bum.
growing.
So he only breathes fire when he's sleeping.
Snores fire.
Can I get a perception check from you two on your watch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Let's see. Oof. I hope you have a better roll than I do. It's a 16 from me. Thank God for that
Eight.
+9.
Yeah, right.
Plus 9.
18 for me.
Yeah, Callie, you can see that there's a couple of gators, maybe 200 foot away. They don't look like they're coming for you. They're just, you notice them, a couple of logs floating weird, and then you're like, all right, let's just keep an eye on that. They don't come any closer. Between the two of you, like I said, this is a pretty clear hill that you've got this one big tree on. So you're keeping a lookout, and this besides typical sights and sounds of the swamp, you do see to the south more of that kind of like fairy fire, like kind of popping up. Looks like it's about as safe and pleasant a night as any in the swamp.
All right.
All right. Next watch.
I can go.
All right.
Yeah. Alar volunteer. He'll take over, and let's go ahead and do perception. Okay.
Could,
That is going.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just wanted Callie to sort of like warn Alar of some of the signs of typical swamp dangers. So, like, for instance, don't go down to the water when there's like to like lean over and drink. That's a very bad when there's potentially gators, like stuff like that.
Okay.
Yep.
So that is going to be a 22.
All right, yeah. With the 22, you spot the gators that Callie pointed out to you. Because at first you're just looking at them and you're like, no, I'm pretty sure those are just nope. Logs don't have tails. Okay.
Or move.
But yeah, as you keep a lookout, you do see as the like early morning sun starts to come up and it kind of grays out in the swamp. You can see a few areas where there's like swarms in the distance of some pretty large looking insects, and a few different kinds even. You see definitely different shapes in some of those groupings. But again, nothing comes up close to your spot here.
That's good. Who wants to take third watch? Because I'll go wake them up.
I can do it, but I would like some assistance probably as well.
I was gonna say you do have Val. Your mic's not down.
I said fine, but do I still get my spells, right?
You have your spells back at this point. Yep.
Neat.
I'll go ahead and wake up Derek and Tosha, and then crawl back into my bedroll and just try to forget logs that move.
You're like they are like right there though. Like yeah, they're 200 feet away, but that means they're only 200 feet away. I can see them. All right, last watch.
Do you want to roll it? I can guide you or give you aid, or both. Actually, come to think of it, no, both count as night.
Well, I was gonna ask Nate for with my new low vision. Can I I know it's like choosing one thing to focus on, so can I how does that work in a keeping watch situation?
So you're rolling with disadvantage to see anything, and you're pretty limited in what a success would look like.
I'll help you, Derek, by just kind of listening. And
Nate, same question.
So you're at disadvantage for anything that's more than 50 feet away.
So if we're aiding each other, if we're giving the help action to each other, does that mean we just roll flat?
Yeah, so essentially what's probably happening is Tosha is really straining to listen, and you are really straining to look. So you will roll flat.
Whose idea was this?
Help them? Because Val is awake with them. Val is just, he can't talk, but he could at least paw.
So is Val actually making the check?
Yeah, Val could look around. If he sees them on watch, he was sleeping with Tosha. And Kelly kind of did it deliberately, so he'll be up and sort of marching around the perimeter.
Well, then why is Derek up?
Because Val can't talk. And you need to take a watch.
Why do I need to take a watch? Listen,
because we're part of a group, and you need to add to it.
So anyway,
I don't add to the group
at nighttime.
Okay, next time something needs to give birth, you can do it. What'd you get, Val?
16.
Oh, bitch, I got a 20. Stupid ass dragon.
Was that with your disadvantage?
Oh, fuck.
Womp,
I got 13.
Okay.
It's good enough. You can see stuff. Like those logs over there in that water looks really delicious.
Yep.
We wake up. There's no Derek.
Val trots around, looking about. Nothing alerts Val. Val doesn't like growl or like make a weird. The hell sound do lizards make? Hissing sound or anything like that to alert you that something's wrong.
It was a disadvantage because Doshi was helping me. We said it was a flat roll.
Yeah.
Oh, someone. I thought. You can either one person can roll with help, or one person rolls and another person rolls. So Val rolled, which was one roll, and then you roll with disadvantage.
Oops.
What's the point of having the Drake keep watch? Because, like you said, he can't talk. What's he gonna do? Mime at me?
Just say
Breathe
you're-
fire gently in my direction to let me know that those logs are alligators?
Well, it doesn't have to be gentle.
Snore fire.
Oh yeah, sorry, he's awake. He doesn't know magic anymore, or some shit. I don't know.
Anyway.
I cast light on the Drake and send him off to go look at shit. That's much better.
But you make it through the last watch. In the back half of your watch or so, the rest of the party starts like stirring and breaking camp. But you make it through the night uneventfully. You strike camp. You start looking towards the east, which is the direction that you know you need to go. Callie, I don't remember all of the favored terrain benefits. So I'm just going to tell you the rules for traveling through here, and then you're going to tell me what doesn't matter.
Okay.
So it is difficult terrain the whole way. It's a bog, with a couple of exceptions. Yes.
Can that be modified if Mama does the walk on water thing again,
Right.
or was that just the other area?
Nope. That can be modified from the walk on water. The whole thing is the water walking is an hour long. So, you know, it's a you could start out that way, you could do it at the end of your travel, or you could save it for, you know, some key moment in the middle. That's all up to you.
Well, if Mama does it when we start, my natural explorer favorite terrain thing, while traveling for an hour or more in your chosen terrain, difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel. We can't become lost except by magical means, and I remain alert to danger even when engaged in another activity, and can move stealthily at a normal pace when I'm by myself. So,
Okay.
yeah.
It's also a ritual, right? Like, couldn't
What
Mama
are you
just...
talking? Oh, yeah, hers.
Not you,
yeah.
sorry,
No.
Mama's thing. Couldn't Mama just do water walking again and again?
It is not a ritual. But I do have a couple of spell slots that I haven't used. And so that's what I've been using with it.
All right. So, yeah. So, Callie, the biggest thing is you'll be making perception checks and not survival
I
checks.
lied. It is a ritual.
So there is a ritual. So you can stop for 10 minutes, perform the ritual, go for an hour, stop for 10 minutes, perform the ritual, if that's what you want to do. It will not be the same as difficult terrain, and it'll slow you down, but being able to run across the land will still, you'll gain time there. So that's a you all call.
I think keeping the horses above any like swampy water is probably good. And in the 10 minutes that it takes for Mama to do her thing, I could always try to like from the perimeter gather herbs that Alar needs, so we can make use of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good. And you do know that like some of the areas, it's not so much like, oh, there's thick grasses or thick whatever, difficult terrain. It's like you literally need to pick through like roots and things, and so that will just be like it's almost as difficult as like going up the side of a mountain, just like in its own way. So it is difficult, but not like difficult terrain rules, and you will get slowed down whether you're walking on the water or not. Just it takes longer to pass through certain things. But you will move much more swiftly than someone who couldn't do such things.
I have a dumb idea. How dense is the foliage above us?
It depends on the area you're in. Right here, it makes a pretty solid canopy. You've passed through a couple areas that aren't quite that dense, but yeah, for the most part, there's a pretty hefty canopy to this whole valley.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind in case it comes up.
Good to know. All right. Setting out, you're going to do a ritual and do hour on, 10 minutes off. Okay.
Yes.
It's your high intensity overland travel.
Mhm.
So for the travel this day, one, I need a d12 from someone.
I've got it. If I can get... 3.
All right. So making your way through here, the weather's fine. There's no as you travel along. You can see again from distances. You're able to kind of circumvent like a lot of the issues that you see. Groups of questionable plants that might have been in some of the best places to go. You're able to simply skirt around and give away birth in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise. It turns out it's really easy to get away from alligators if you're just running across the top of the water on a horse. Who knew? Their one weakness, Jesus horses. So
Jesus horse.
I do need. So you make good progress this day. You make it to a day's worth of travel, and Kelly, I do need a survival check in order to find a good safe spot to set up.
And that's with help from me.
Muted, sweetheart.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, thank you. It is my favorite terrain. That's the one time I can do things pretty good by myself, but I do appreciate it. No, it's not a solid today though. It's a 16 total.
All right.
Sorry, Mama.
With the 16, you do find again a spot. You are able to find a spot that is pretty dry. It's not as big of a bare hill, so you kind of lose some of those benefits. There's a number of small trees. So it's not as perfect as the one that you had previously found, but you do find a decent spot that you would, on a typical trip, feel like this is a good spot to stop. This is not certainly you've occasionally had to take camping spots that you don't feel good about, but it's the best that you can find. This is certainly not one of those times.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But you set up camp. Let's just do a D12 for the night rather than cycling through watches.
Can I ask that, like, because however we want to do the watches, like if it's going to be a 3-watch or a 2-watch system or whatever it's going to be, can I throw in a convo with Tosha possibly during that time?
Absolutely.
Even if we're not going to do the rolls? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Go ahead. So you all set up your
I
watch, and you
rolled a
two.
2.
Excellent. You all set up your watch. Nothing happens, and you go ahead and have your conversation.
So yeah, at some point when, because presumably we don't have Tosha and Derek on the same watch for a while. It's probably quiet for a while. Elias is still looking, waiting for the log to roll over. Some of the logs he's looking at are not in the water. Some of them are just on land. Some of them are trees, and he hasn't realized that they can't stand upright yet. You never know. But after a while, he kind of just like looks over to Tosha, and then Tosha, can I ask you an incredibly personal question that might have a lot of bearing on what's going to happen to us when we get back to Bastion?
Yes.
We don't know what's going to go down during the ritual. And I know you have your priorities. I have mine. Neither of us wants to win, so we don't have to worry about that. If it comes down to a situation where if Olena wants revenge in some way, shape, or form, or it comes down to something where it's you or Olena, it sounds as though the two of you had a close relationship when you were younger. Do you want interference in that? Or if it comes down to something between the two of you, is that something you would want to resolve on your own?
Yeah, I'm obviously, I want to try to speak with her, and
Mm-hmm.
I hope it won't come to it. But if she, wants to attack me, or if I'm unable to persuade her away from killing anyone else in the ceremony, I will stop her. And obviously, if she does anything against you or your sister, like, I'm not saying that, but if it's a situation where it's her and me, I would rather handle things between us, if possible.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. And at least for the time being, I suppose it'll be helpful for you to have someone serve as your eyes when we get back to the city.
Definitely. I won't be as aware of things going on around me when we get in there, potentially, in some ways, so that will be helpful. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
No, go ahead.
The person or forces that you serve, why do you serve them? How did you make the decision and know that you were right about that decision?
Do you love Bastion?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yes and no, I suppose.
That is a very reasonable take. I would say that it is about the same for me. I do what I do because it is interesting. And because it is far more interesting than standing in front of a door and telling people not to go through it. And when I had an opportunity to do something that was not going to kill my soul for the rest of my life, I took it. And as much as I may gripe about being buried alive or nearly drowned or stuck in a bog or in the mountains or basically just into the most terrible people they're not people, places I can think of in this entire continent, I cannot say it has not been interesting. And from what we've learned of the Jukan Empire and the old gods, I came looking for something and I have found it. And I am very excited for when we get to the Temple of the Moon to find out what else there will be that we can find. So it is not something where Lug does not have my entire loyalty, if that is what you were asking about. And I think that that is going to largely be universal to a lot of people who work in the kind of work that I do. I mean, how many of the do you remember when we ran across those people who were from the Guillaume, I think, outside we were leaving the castle?
Yes, briefly.
Yeah, and there was like one Guillaume, and then the rest of them were mudskippers, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Or at the very least, there were other groups that we had found that were like hirelings of something or along those lines. Most of those times, those hirelings are going to be like me or like the people that went back with Gregor. They are doing it because they're getting paid. Or Callie, to an extent, in bringing me up here. Callie has her own reasons to be here, but that's sort of the, how it started, kind of. Yeah. I think that's about as good an answer as I can give, unless you have something specific you wanted to ask.
No. Thank you for sharing that with me.
No,
I'm
happy to.
trying to figure out how to make that choice myself, so I thought.
Well,
would
I
ask
think
how
it
others did.
helps that like I need money to live, and I think you don't need money to live. Kind of with how Bastion is. So
Yes, I
presumably you still need to do something in Bastion, but yeah.
yes, I have not really had need in that area.
Did that tree just move?
Give me a minute to try to focus on it.
No.
So as you continue keeping watch into the night, you wrap up your evening of rest and prepare for the next day's travel. Who wants to give me a D12 for this day? I'm trying to be fair, and we're still doing on a 9+, even though I want to say, fuck it, it's on a 2+. Give me it. You'll still just roll a 1.
I'm ready.
Oh,
Nat 1.
6.
All right. Are you doing the 9 double check?
I am. It's got a little dot.
Excellent.
But it's also like dark red on dark slate, so I'm like...
Yes. It's my favorite thing. Beautiful dice that you can never read.
You can't read. I've got jingle dice that I love more than anything, but it takes me so long to read them, I don't ever use them.
All right. Yeah, again, you make your way through. You're able to kind of get these timed like pauses where you've got like a good spot to kind of stop on dry ground. You're recognized, like Callie, you haven't really traveled in Bogspine Hollow very often, but you do know that unlike the shifting wastes, there's not a lot of big expanses of just wet, right? You don't necessarily need to traipse through hip deep water for miles. So you know that as you go through here, you're able to just kind of like pop off and stop at a dry spot. Pretty much guaranteed every 60 minutes you'll be close enough to a dry spot to set up and get your keep your horses from going in deep or getting yourselves in a bad situation. But yeah, you make it through your third day traveling from the mountain, from the grandmother's domain. Just 4 days left. Looks like about 3 more days here, and then another day or so going up the side of the mountain. Setting up for the evening. Can I get a D12 roll for this night?
I will try.
Y'all are gonna roll like
This
35
is why
D12s.
Why'd you volunteer?
Because I felt that I had it.
Was it a 12?
It's a 12.
Ooh, it's a 12.
You only roll high. That's your shtick. We all have
It's
bits.
true.
Like, oh, I rolled so low, it was a 16. I'm like, fuck you, I'm level fucking what, 5? I don't know what I can roll at a 16. Like medicine, maybe? I'm lucky.
All right. So, settling in, you manage to get yourself settled in. Dry spot, again, there's not as many hills coming out. You're on like a little bit of a soft peaty area with like a number of stumps that have kind of built up. You can actually see that it's one of those children that you didn't talk to earlier. So as you come up to this area, it looks like there's a great stump from where there used to be a huge tree that was just that's been gone for an age probably. But like there's a ring of trees that have kind of grown up out of the edges of the stump, and so you kind of have this small little hollow that is pretty well defended, and it's kind of the best spot that you can find. You do get that sense of like this isn't ideal. I feel a little bit trapped here with the horses and everything, but looking at your other options, this one is dry and not immediately reachable by the gators, who have been pretty much the more dangerous things that you've seen on your travel. And Callie, during your watch,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that you're watching with Val.
Yeah.
So during your watch, you're kind of looking around, keeping an eye, and you notice inside of a hollow of one of these trees. You looked around and you didn't notice it earlier, but about 5 feet up, there's a hollow notch where a limb was taken out at some point in history, and you can see there's a desiccated human skull in there.
Shit. No.
And as
Oh,
you
no.
kind of like look towards it, because the eyes are open and it's just kind of vile looking, and then you see 8 spider legs kind of like creep up around the edge of the hollow and lift out, and you see this humanoid head, almost like a hermit crab sort of situation, with a spider creature sticking out the bottom of it. And I need initiative from everybody. Some of you
Yay.
are asleep, so go ahead and give me your initiative with disadvantage if you are sleeping.
Who was taking
everyone
the...
except, I was gonna say everyone except for Callie, and I believe if you're what's the word I'm looking for? If you are an elf and you do the elven trance thing, I believe you're not strictly in a deep sleep, so you would not be with disadvantage. Mama, I think, is the only one impacted by that.
A lot of good it does me.
Put these back on their 20s.
Well, I rolled a
That definitely
1
helps.
and a 20 on that initiative, though.
Wow.
Great. Well, so Tosha, that gives us a what?
That gives us 1.
Ooh.
Alar.
That is going to be a 16.
Fat finger bumped that, and it was 146 for a minute. You
I'll-
went yesterday.
I'll take initiative 146 if you
Mama.
want to do that.
7.
We're off to a good start, y'all.
And that's without disadvantage.
Derek.
13.
Derek, that's one of your better initiatives.
Well, the other one was a 19.
Callie.
Oh, man.
Mine was a 19. Me and Val.
It's not terrible. We've got a good spread.
I'm old. It takes
Now
me
we're
a
going to
while
find
wake
out that
up.
all of the skull spiders rolled a nat 20 each.
Yeah.
They didn't. But what is, for no particular reason, Alar, what is your initiative bonus?
Initiative bonus is +4. My dex is +4. So.
Excellent. Good. Okay. Callie,
Yeah.
with your... I forgot the Yoda +6 to your fucking dex. So Callie...
Yeah.
You react first as you see this thing crawling out. On the plus side, because you've been traveling in this place, you see this thing coming out and you shout for the party, and no one is surprised. Favored
God.
terrain.
Favorite terrain. Yay. So I messed up, but I also didn't mess up. How close is this thing? It's pretty close, right?
It's like inches from you.
Oh, good. My favorite. Inches. That means I can't use my bow, right?
I mean, you can.
I mean, depends
Not
on how
as
many
effectively.
inches, right?
I said
If it's
you can, but you still take the penalty for shooting something adjacent to you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm still gonna.
Sorry.
still gonna Hunter's Mark it with my bonus action. That's that.
Great.
And then I will use my. Well, since I don't have it, I guess I'll just like. I probably would have been sitting with my spear and shield, like in my bow and stuff, like just kind of like
just ready to go. Yeah.
Because I'm on watch. So I will one-handed strike with my spear.
All right.
Like, I'm sorry we woke you up, or this is your hill, but I cannot have you attacking my friends. So, 2 thrusts with the glamored spear. Ooh, first is 23 to hit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the next one would be a 21.
Oh, yeah, no. Both of them hit.
Okay. So then they will. Okay. So the first shot, or the first chow. Oh, I see why I didn't normally go for a spear, because my strength. Whoopsie doodle. Oh well. We are committed to the bit. Is 7 plus 1 for 8 piercing damage, and the next spear attack.
So with that first spear attack, as you hit it, and it's obviously like it's a humanoid skull, essentially. It still has like the leathery skin and stuff on the outside. And you hit it, and you feel like it's gonna like bobblehead kind of off to the side a little bit, again with that like sort of hermit crab situation going on. But the tip of the spear, as it hits, it just catches the head just right, and it seems like perhaps the magical nature of the spear allows you to catch a solid strike with a piercing weapon that might otherwise be harder. But you hit it for that 8 points. You split the skull, and as you split the skull, it kind of splinters, and you hear like a small like as this like thing, like the feet under it kind of curl up, and it tumbles to the ground with the first strike.
Oh. Well, I poke it again because double tap. I don't like it.
That's fair. So do the damage at the second strike.
It is a 6 magical piercing total. Plus, I think Val will like smoke at it for his d6. Hold on, because
he's asleep.
He's awake. He does when you do damage, Val can help you out. Fussy boots. For an additional 4 fire.
All right, so you hit it, and it actually starts smoldering from the inside out, and you can see it's no longer moving, and it's just like tightening up those feet on the bottom side.
I'd like to remain on high alert in case there's like more, or that was like a scout and I've triggered something. Like, I'm sorry. Something might be coming.
Alar, you wake up to your party member, your ranger, Callie, shouting. And you kind of like look around. Callie is stabbing what looks to be a head on the ground. Mm-hmm. You can use half your movement to stand up, and then whatever else you want to do this turn. You don't immediately see anything.
Okay. Since there isn't anything for me to immediately do, I'm going to do a little bit of flavor. Alar is going to string his bow, because normally you would actually undo that. Like, you wouldn't just leave it strung overnight. So he'll go ahead and string that as like his object interaction, and then he is going to use whatever's left of his movement to like dive into bush, basically whatever kind of cover he can kind of find.
There's there's a bunch of trees that have built up and some small brush that's around there. So you kind of dive into one of those areas to try and get yourself as much cover as you can. As you dive in, you see next to you is just looks like an orc's head, rotted, kind of gross look on the skull, just kind of like laying there, and you're like, how did I miss that earlier? This seems like something I would have noticed.
Okay, 1 sec. I want to see if I can do something, if there's an idea, and if not, then fuck it, but I'm kind of curious now. Okay. Nate, how big is the head? It's like normal head size?
It's the size of an orc's head. Yeah, like
I
a human head size, we'll say.
Okay. Sorry, I don't have a good point of reference for that. I would like to.
I can't wait.
Well,
Here
I
it
was trying to
comes.
sorry, I was trying to figure out if this is going to work or not, and I don't think I have anything the proper size that isn't going to cause a problem. I am going to see this and immediately attempt to. Can I take my grappling hook and get it through the eye socket?
Yeah, it's just a static object on the ground. So you used your object interaction this turn. Do you want to do that
This would
as
be
your
my
bonus
action rather
action
than
or your
stealthing.
action? Yeah, go
Unless you
for
want
it.
me to actually stealth in the thing and just be next to it, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, if you don't stealth, other things will be able to see you. So that's
Okay.
your call.
I will try to stealth and hope that it doesn't wake up.
Okay.
And that this is just a regular head in the rock that isn't doing anything. That's good. In that case, that's going to be a 16 to stealth, and I will just be very, very, very quiet. Nope, sorry, 26 to stealth.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. That's a big difference. Sorry, I did the math wrong.
Oh, okay.
I have a +7, and I went, great, 19 on the die, 7, 16. So, yeah, I didn't teach math, so there you
go. Yeah, as you're in your hiding spot, you can kind of glance up and you see coming out from various spots of the tree, the upper branches, inside several knots in the wood, under some hollows where the kind of roots have lifted up.
Mm-hmm.
Other heads that look exactly like, similar to the one that you are next to, just dried, desiccated, but it still has like a leathery texture, presumably from all the humidity and whatnot down here.
Mm-hmm.
Come just trundling out on spiders' legs, swarming your area at a quick glance, including the one that you look down that is now moving and is unfortunately in your hiding spot. Kind of gets up. There's about 14 of these things just trundling around. Ooh, they're so gross. Anyway, so Callie, that's there's two more that come over by you and Val and go to attack you. As they kind of rear back, and the bottom jaw is missing from these skulls, and as it rears back, you can see like spider mandibles just right under the upper lip of where the mouth would be. And so you see the top teeth coming down, and then spider jaws kind of coming out from under it. And you notice, Callie, that they try to set themselves up and attack in rotation around you to try and get you paying attention to one while the other attacks you. They have pack tactics. So that first one is a 22 to hit.
Oh yeah.
That second one is a 21 to hit.
Yep.
I need 2 Constitution saving throws from you.
Okie dokie. Constitution. First one's a 13. 18.
Both of those pass. So you take, from each of those, you take 1 point of piercing damage. And from the first one, you take 4 points of poison and 1 point of poison. Sorry, from the first one is 4 points, second one is 1 point of poison.
Okay, thank you.
And you can feel the poison makes you feel like a little bit sluggish, but you shake it off and you're okay. That's those two. Mama, you wake up to Callie's shout and you look up just in time to see 3 more coming towards you. First one is a 13 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
Second one is an 8 to hit. And the third one is a 13 to hit.
Yeah.
So I need two Constitution saving throws from you.
Don't worry, eventually we'll get you that fancy carapace hide armor.
Promises, promises.
I gotta
Oh,
get
no,
somewhere where I
lady.
can make it.
Well, the first one I was a 12, and the second one was a 21.
Okay, well, those both pass. So you take 1 point of piercing from each of those, 7 points, or excuse me, 3 points of poison from the first one, 1 point of poison from the second one. Derek.
Do these things seem undead?
Oh, no,
Like, I know there's like a
more.
dead head.
There's more of these.
Oh,
Derek, you're getting
great.
attacked by 2 of them.
Let's go. I mean, somewhere else.
That's all of 11 on the first one.
Does not hit.
That is a nat 20 on the second one.
Does not hit.
And that's an 18 on the third one.
That hits too.
All right. So I need a Constitution saving throw, 2 of them from you.
Can do. It is. Let's see. That's gonna be 10 and a 19.
All right. The 10 fails on the crit. So you take 2 points of piercing from that crit and 10 points of poison from that crit. And then 1 point of piercing and 4 points of poison from the second hit.
17 total.
Excuse me. 2 less than that, because you succeeded on the second one.
15 total.
2 are coming for you, Tosha, while you're down.
Yeah, go at him.
That's a 22 on the first one.
I mean, yeah, that is.
And that's an 11 on the oh, excuse me, that's a 9 on the second one.
That does not hit.
All right. You don't need to make a Constitution saving throw. You're immune to poison.
I was gonna say,
You take 1 point of piercing damage.
Start crawling up Tosha.
Alar, there's only one coming for you. It looks like the ones in the other areas can't see you. But that one next to you rolls all of 16 to hit.
No, AC 17.
It misses. You're like down there like, get the fuck away. That leaves us with, 2, 3, 7. You killed 1. There are 5 more. Oh no, 4. 1 was on Alar. The other 4 you see surround Stall.
Is that one of the horses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Big ol' hunk of meat.
Look, if they're not prickles, I don't care.
That's a 15 to hit.
Please tell me that you taught Prickles how to roll over and just crunch all of the skulls.
Does the 15 hit the warhorse?
I believe so. Let me just double check that real quick.
If I remember correctly, their ACs aren't super high. It's just they've got more health.
It's
I
11.
think it's like an 11 or 12. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it can be higher, but you have to get armor for him.
You guys all thought I was crazy. As there's like a whisk instead of a spike in one of the spots on Prickles' back.
You need to do breakfast in the morning, you pull it off.
All right, well, I have some bad
Skills
news
Army
for Stall. The first one was a 15 to hit Stall. The second one was a natural 20. The third one was a 21. The fourth one was a 22. So I need 4
Wow.
Constitution saving throws from Stall.
Today I get to be a vet.
Wow.
I'm doing the con save since I was writing stall. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I'm rolling the damage, and I just launched my D8 like across the room. So 1 second.
Nice. Come on, Stall, with your +1 con.
I rolled 5 D8s there. 3 of them were 8s.
Oh, well, bye,
Jesus.
Stall.
Yeah, so
Stall.
stall got 13, 13, 14, and 5 on those checks.
All right, so Stall takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of piercing damage. Passed the first one. Importantly, passed the crit. Passed the third one, failed the last one, so takes... let's see, that's 10, 13... Takes 21 poison damage.
Stall is down.
All right. And as you see Stahl go down, you see the 4 that attacked him already start kind of like scrunching the skulls under Stahl, and each of them put like a couple of little pointy, like spider paw, like spider legs under it, and start to lift Stahl. That's all of their turns. Derek, your turn.
Do I get the sense these things... I mean, I know that they're literally desiccated heads, but I don't know if these are like spiders wearing them or if it's part of their body. Do I get the sense these things are undead?
I mean, the heads look dead, but as you're looking at them, give me either a religion or nature check.
Will this take up my action
No.
to do so? Okay.
This is at a glance you recognize.
In that case, I will guess 14 plus 4. It's 18.
With an 18, which roll was this?
Which roll?
Was it religion or nature? Religion.
Religion.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't... Sure.
So with religion, you're looking at them, and they don't have any of the marks of necromancy. They don't seem to be undead. It looks more like something literally like a hermit. You don't know what a hermit crab is, but it looks like something literally took up residence in a dead creature's skull and is using it for protection.
Well, shit. Because I was like, oh my god, is for the first time in D&D history, is turn undead gonna be useful?
You've already turned
No.
undead to great effect.
What's up?
Once. I said you turned undead to great effect once.
Yeah, but if they're under a CR half, they die now because I'm level 5. So
Oh,
they're
shit.
running away.
No.
All right, well, if they're not undead and they're just weird hermit crab spiders, it's too bad that Stahl's not dead.
Jesus.
Because I would make him into just the coolest looking horse guy. Oh my god, I have a friend.
Well,
You do.
not just that. Could you animate the skull that the hermit crab thing is in?
Just screaming on the back of the... Ah!
It just fights it while it's on it.
No, because then I
Funny.
lose my little partner who I totally blanked about until this very moment.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I'm not great at this. I'm not great at many little friends. I'm not great at many little friends. So let's just heal the horse. Yeah. We'll go ahead and I can cantrip and spell, so I'll do that. I'll healing word first level. Good old stall. If I can get this fucking dice out of the stupid hole. There we go. Told you every time. 4 plus 1? 4 plus 4. 8 health is retained by the horse. And Toll the Dead.
Do it.
Are any of the ones near the horse? Oh my god, I fucking hate this thing sometimes. Okay. All the ones that have been killed, right? There's no injured ones.
Correct.
So this is, I just believe, 2d8 for Toll the Dead then. Some 5th level. Yep, 2d8. One of the ones next to Stall. 3 and 5 for a total of 8 damage.
Beep, beep,
Beep.
beep, dong, and you just see the skull explodes, and there's just like this green ichor from inside the spider thing, just pop!
Can I give my animate undead? Because can I give my little animated friend the what's the shtick? The command, I guess, of like attack. Because he gets a slam.
Yeah,
One of the other ones on Stole, if that's cool. Just pulling up
yeah.
a small zombie. Get some easy stats. I totally blanked on him. I was like, why do I always have one spell missing? Here we go. Oh.
Your
There's a +1 to
subcontractor.
attack. That's a 15.
15 hits.
Hey, all right. Oh no, he has a +3 to hit. Never mind, that's a 2 more than that.
Hey.
D6 plus 1. 2. He does 2 damage. He's he's an intern.
Yep. All right.
I feel like he also, like, as he like runs over there to do this new command, is like dropping papers and shit like that. He's about to have his like his cute meet with the spider head.
Excellent. So you do that. Mama, you're the first to notice something's up with your passive perception, but immediately after, if not at the same time, Callie, you notice something that sets you immediately on edge. Not that you weren't already by these walking skull things. Some of the vines around the camp start moving. And there are vines all over the bog. But when they move on their own, it's usually a bad sign. And the problem is there are many there's a whole group of creatures from various places, some of them magical and some of them more naturally occurring, that are capable of either looking like vines or are actually just strange magical vines. All of them are bad news. And as you see some of these vines start to move on their own, it's just one of those, oh, shit. You would know where nests of these things are, like, closer to where you live. It's just very important to keep track of. But you do see a number of vines start moving on their own.
Hooray!
First one is going to go for, still can't see Colin, going for Tosha. Tosha, that is a +4, 18 to hit.
Yep, that hits.
All right, so you are struck by a vine for 11 bludgeoning damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw. As the vine strikes you, you can feel these little fine filament hairs that kind of brush off and sting as they hit you, almost like a jellyfish. Again, not that you know what that is.
This isn't poison, is it?
You know what? It just might be. So just don't even fucking worry about any of that. Yeah. Cool. You are grappled though, so it does wrap you up and grapple you as it strikes you. Double checking how something works. Yeah, so as it grapples you, this like nest of vines that had been kind of collected further up on a higher branch where what this vine looked like it had fallen from, literally pulls itself and drops on you. And you see like in the center of these vines that are kind of like moving, it's using some of the vines, it's moving as though it's flying, but it's basically just grabbing branches and things and moving very quickly down towards you. And you can see at the bottom center is a beak that is coming down towards you as it goes to bite you. That is another 18 to hit.
Yep.
That is 6 piercing damage as it comes down and beaks. Callie, one of those vines is actually uncomfortably close to you and goes to swing at you.
All right.
That's a 19 plus 4, 23.
Jesus. All right. Yep.
And I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You got it. +3. How does a 21 sit you?
21 sounds great as you feel this brushes against you, and your muscles start to seize up. And I'm not even going to make you make you roll it. One between the experience and with your really high knowledge of your region. This is what sometimes is simply called a vine nest. These are vines that have a nettle-like fine pins on it, and it can poison you and actually paralyze you if you get affected by it. They look like they should be weak to fire, but you know that that is not the case. And you also know that hitting them with something like a club wouldn't really do very much to them compared to hitting them with something that slashes or pierces.
Okay. So they're not weak to fire, but does fire still hurt? As like,
Not
or is it like
not as much
bludgeoning?
as you would expect.
Okay. Yeah. So I will kind of like briefly shut it out as I'm like fighting this thing off from grabbing me. Be like, don't smack it with a bludgeoning, piercing, slashing. No, fire's not so great. Sorry, Val. Sorry,
Is
Val.
this the same thing that has Tosha?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you roll that Constitution saving throw?
Oh yeah, it was like a 21.
Oh yeah,
I think it was.
yeah. That's right. You're fine. That's all of 4. Yeah, that's all of 4 bludgeoning damage as it hits you. You are wrapped up, and the second one kind of brings itself down to go and bite at you.
All right.
And you can tell as it brings itself down, as it's got you already wrapped up, it's just reeling itself in towards you, and it is a very advantageous position for it to bite from, we'll say.
Okay.
It's one of those things from Half-Life.
Kinda. And this is 15 to hit.
It is a miss.
It brings itself, reels it in, piercing beak comes at you, just brushes off of the bunny armor.
Nice.
Mama, there's a vine that swings down towards you. I just rolled that with advantage, and I wasn't supposed to, so give me 1 second. That's a 14 hit. Excuse me, 13 to hit.
It meets.
Well, that sucks. I need a Constitution saving throw.
That's a 17.
All right, you're good. And then the damage. We'll just use you then. 8, 9, 10. 10 bludgeoning damage as it strikes you. You succeeded on the save, and then it brings itself down up to beak at you as well. That's all of 8 to beak you. I just picture it like reels itself in, and you saw this happen multiple times around you, and you just put your walking stick in the way, and the tip of its beak just like bing onto the walking stick. And Mama?
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Well, thank God. Well, so can I maybe hit it with lightning without barbecuing myself?
Oh yeah, certainly. That lightning bolt. It's a lion, right?
Yeah.
And as far as you know, these things. If you were to lightning part of a tree and someone were holding another part of the tree, it probably wouldn't barbecue them. Pointing it down at the water at your feet might be a bad idea. But yeah, pointing it at this thing, you don't think it'll affect you that way.
Okay, great. I'm gonna do that.
Are you gonna
And
try and
that's
catch anything else in that bolt?
well, if there are a couple of the little spidery things, it's 100-foot line if I need it to be.
You think because you essentially like started at the end of your hand that if you like underhand it, you can catch the 2 spiders that were attacking you.
Great. And that is a Dex 14 save for it. Let's see. I'm gonna cast this on. So it's a 3rd level, so it's 8d6 and half if they don't get it. Where's my other d6? 7. I'll roll one more. Ooh, that's nice. I like the look of that. 10. That's 12. And that's 18. And then that's 23. So it would be 23 lightning damage if it doesn't pass.
All right. Well, it rolled a 6. The skull next to you, or one of the skulls, rolled an 11, and one rolled a 16. So one passes.
So it gets, 11.
Yeah,
12.
they were dying to 8 earlier, so we're gonna say that those two down at the bottom, you like underhand from there, and you just pop them, and it goes up through this creature that's like reached up, and you actually kind of like blacken and char some of the tree as this lightning bolt continues on 100 foot into the distance. One poor crow just in the distance. Anyway, so as you toss that up, it takes, you said 28?
23.
23. It was not very fond of that. And yes, those two little spider skull things are gone that were next to you.
And then I look at the thing and I said, if you don't put me down and be nice to my friends, I'm going to make a cactus salad out of you later.
All right, that your action?
That's I'm grappled, right?
You are grappled.
So there's
You
nowhere
can
to go.
you can use your action to try and break free, but that's what you got.
Well, I think my action was casting the spell, so I think
I think
it's
that
good to go.
counted as trying to break free. All right, Tosha, you are grappled.
Yep. I am going to first cast Mage Armor on myself. And then I am going to cast Sword Burst. So you watch as, similar to when you've seen Tosha hold the shadowy sword in their hand, just kind of shadows from the swamp coalesce into swirling blades around them. So I need any of the creatures within 5 feet of me to make a Dex saving throw, Nate.
Is sword burst a action or a bonus action?
Oops. Haha. JK. I'm not going to do that. You're correct.
You could spend your sorcery points to do that, right? Do you have Quicken?
Ooh, I do. I think. Let me double check. Yes, I do. So I'm actually gonna spend 2 points to do that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so Dex saving throws from the 2 next.
All right, that's a 15 from the vine nest, and that's an 8 from one of the skull things, and that's a nat 1 from the other skull thing.
All right, so it was a 15. So if it beats it, it saves, right? Or meets it, it saves. Sorry.
If it meets it, it beats it. Yeah.
All right, yeah. So 2 of them failed then. So they are each going to take 9 points of force damage.
Yep, both of them are dead. Both of those things, you just pop them with skulls, and they drop to the, or pop the skulls and they drop to the ground.
All right, that is my turn.
Callie, it's back to you. A lot of things have happened.
Yeah. I was wondering if I could like do a quick nature check, or if I could tell like if this is a creature intelligent enough to like assess that the hull isn't worth the hassle. Like if because we're damaging it and killing things, like if we could potentially target something to like spook it off, essentially.
Go ahead and give me a nature check. It is about something in your favorite terrain, which I think means you get to double your proficiency
Advantage.
and you get advantage because this thing is a monstrosity.
Woohoo! Oh my! Oh my! Nature is well, I don't think I get the double proficiency, but I'll take a 24.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a 24, unfortunately, these things are like they tend to be pretty mindless. They're feeders. They're scavengers. It's kind of like telling a mushroom not to grow somewhere. Like
Gotcha.
it's gonna
Yeah.
try, and if it dies, it dies.
Okay. I know this thing has me grappled. Could I essentially let go of my spear and grab a short sword for free, or would I have to keep the spear if I want to attack in the same turn?
No, you can grab a short sword
Switch.
for free. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna let the spear kind of like hang with me as we're grappled, and just pull the sword and just kind of like stab up into this thing. Well, the thing I stab's dead, correct?
The thing you
The-
stabbed
the-
before is dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So my hunter's mark, I'm gonna move it to this thing. Be like, well, I also have things that pierce and bite and tear, and stab the sword up twice.
Do it.
First one, because it's you said it's monstrosity. I don't get advantage. I
It
missed
is
the
monstrosity,
revised
yeah.
ranger. Yeah. Ooh, how does a 13 sound?
A 13 sounds pretty good. Are you rolling with disadvantage because you're grappled?
I did not. Let's. 13 is the low. The other one is a 17.
All right.
Oh, sorry, 19.
That hits.
Yeah. All right. So it will be 1d6 plus 6 from the 100. Oops, threw that to them. So the initial sword strike is 12 damage, and then Mahana's mark is another 5, so 17 on the first hit.
All right.
And roll with disadvantage on the second sword. That, it's 18 again because I rolled a 9 on the die, plus 9.
All right.
So strike at it again. Head at the UFO. We like this. We like swords. 11 plus another hunter's mark, 6, so 17 again. Right? Right? 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 5, 17. Yeah.
And as you do that, you're actually chopping away some of its vines and such. And I'll say that you bloodied it in one turn with your attacks. So I'll say you actually cut yourself free with that attack.
Oh, thanks. Oh, and Val. Val does one for me, even though fire's not as great. He's still helping. He's a good boy. So he adds 2 fire, which is probably like 1 or none fire.
It is, in fact, one fire.
Okay. Good to know. And then he'll continue focusing on dodging and like just hissing, and he didn't like it. That's it. That's all we got.
Alar, there's a little thing down here with you. You are hidden from everything else really, really incredibly.
I'm going to go ahead and take the cold steel rapier and then just like bring that down on the skull directly in front of me to crush it. That's going to be a flat roll, which is going to be a total of 15.
That does it.
Okay. In that case, damage is going to be 10. This is just magical piercing. It doesn't have the cold thing on it yet.
Yep. And yeah, again, as you strike with that, it feels like the blade tries to like slide off the skull and just catches it, almost as if magnetically driven or pulled, and pushes straight into it. You split it open, and the legs on the bottom kind of curl up, and it stops squirming pretty quickly.
Since I have the rapier, I'm going to dual wield one of my daggers and just fling that out from my hiding spot at the thing that Callie is fighting. It's the same monster that's going after Callie and Mama, or there's
it's the same type of thing, but there are multiple. There are 4 of them.
Okay, but Callie's looks worse off, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna aim for that one. And I am hidden, right? I have advantage on this one.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Does a 19 hit?
A 19 hits.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll. Get these little guys. Okay. That is going to be a. That's going to be 21 piercing damage that goes into that thing with the sneak attack.
Well, okay. Yeah, Kelly,
And
that one you just cut yourself free from, you just see coming out from like a bush rattles a little bit, and you're like, oh shit, what now? And then you just see one dagger come beelining out, hit it square in the beak, and it just tumbles to the ground, writhing in pain, but doesn't appear to be able to do anything of its own volition.
Nice. And then I am revealed. So I'm going to get got.
Sorry, I said there were 4 of those. I believe there were 3. One attacking Callie, one attacking Mama, and one attacking Tosha. IIRC. Okay, that brings us back to the little skull things.
Just as a thing, because I don't know exactly the layout, would it be possible if there's like a tree for me to maneuver myself behind the tree so that it's between me and the vine things?
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
Getting out of line of sight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hidden, but it's cover or whatever, so see if that helps.
Yeah, sounds good. Callie, you've got these other 2 little shits that are like down chewing on your ankles, so they're both going to attack you.
All right.
That's a 22 from the first one.
Oh, man. Yep.
And that's a dirty 20 from the second one.
Oh, yeah. Meets beats.
That's 1 point of piercing from each of them, so 2 points of piercing, and I need 2 Constitution saving throws from you.
Coming right up. Constitution. I wish maybe I'll get a million years. My first Constitution is 12. The next one, oh boy, is 7.
12 makes it, and you take 3 points of poison from the first, and the 7 does not, and you take 5 points from the second.
Owie. Okay. Ow.
All right, let's see. That's 2 on Mama, got murdered. Did you have 2 or 3 on you, Mama, originally?
I think
I
2, because I only rolled 2 con saves.
I didn't annotate this. Well, only 2 hit you. Oh yeah, Tosha had 3, right? But only 2.
Tosha had 3.
Only 2 hit. Sorry, I've just got a whole stack of 15 of these fucking things, and there's no way in the digital thing to just say, these are the ones on Tosha, these are the ones, and I didn't write it down. Okay, so Tosha, you still have 3 of these little assholes on you. Nope, you killed 2 of them. Did I mark those? I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should just have the vine still on me, I believe.
That's what I get for having like 95 creatures in a combat. All right, so you do still have just the vine. There are 3 still on Stall, 2 on Kelly. Let's see, this one was killed. And then Derek, you have 3 on you, if I recall correctly. There's a 4th one here. We're just going to say he died in one of those AoE attacks because I don't know who it's on. / I might not have ever introduced it. So here's the 3 on Derek.
Did you say 3?
The little skull things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of, like, I can single target well. I can't hit things. So I think we're going to try...
So that's a 22 on the first swing on you.
Oh,
That's a that's a 13 on the second one, so I think that misses. And that's a 6 on the third one. So it breaks a tooth on your fucking armor.
Learn from Prickle.
So I need 1 Constitution saving throw from you.
4. Well, that's a net 20. 24. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, so with the 24, you take 1 point of piercing and 2 points of poison. And you notice the ones that were carrying Stahl, when Stahl was healed, you saw the eyes open, or you now see like the Stahl starting to stir. The eyes are open, and you can see like the tail is kind of quivering, but it's not moving. You notice that Stahl doesn't appear to be able to move. As the other three that are under Stahl are continuing to carry him, with the three of them, they're able to move Stahl about another 20 feet. And as you look, they kind of like almost move around as though being ordered. Like they look like they're extremely skilled at maneuvering around carrying something much larger than themselves. And they make it about.
If they're moving away, does my little dude get an attack of opportunity?
He sure does.
+3. It's a 19 to hit.
That hits.
6 + 1. We'll say it's the same one he's attacking from before for a total of 4 damage.
Ooh. Cracks open the back of the skull. It's still moving, but it's very, very injured.
I need to give this guy a sword.
And that brings it to your turn, Derek.
And to reiterate my previous statement, I'm not sure what to do in this situation. So, does Mama look the most injured, just passively listening to the numbers that were thrown around? Who's feeling shitty?
I'm down. I'm like I don't know, maybe about a third of my health.
I'm down just about half, but I feel like I'm slightly harder to hit, although not by Nate's rolls, but like normally.
Fair, actually. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Mama. Mama's getting a 2nd level heal. Can I move to Mama to touch her for a better heal? Oh, wait, nope, can't do that. Never mind. I gave away those prayer beads. I lied. It's healing word or nothing. It's gonna be 2d4 + 4. 2, not a 4 this time. There's the 4. 6 + 4 is 10 total.
I'll
Wait.
take it.
2nd level is 2d4 + 4. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, healing word's a really light heal. You can just do it at range. Is the big benefit.
Gotcha.
I feel a
And
lot
bonus.
better.
And then I will toll the dead, beep 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 bong, on the one of the ones carrying Stall that's not the one that my little friend is beating up on.
Okay.
So 2d8. It's a 7. Oh wait, I gotta attack first. I'm an idiot.
It's a roll. It's a save.
Oh, it's wisdom 15.
Wisdom 15. What's your wisdom? Okay, well, it rolled an 11 for 12.
Doesn't beat the 15. The grand total is 12.
Yeah, so that one pops, and as you bring that down to just 2, dragging Stall, it looks like they're not able to carry something as large as a horse with only 2 of them.
Excellent. And then my little dude is gonna go ahead and swing at the same one he's been swinging at.
Do it.
+3. That's a 7 total. He does not hit.
All right.
He's still learning. Shit, that means I don't have Bless anymore either. I gotta start prepping that. Prep that over Bane.
All right. That brings us to the first vine nest. This one is the one on. Well, it's not the one that's been hit. This is the one on Tosha. All right. That's a natural 20.
Oh no.
As it kind of like tightens up the vine on you. Tosha, that is. I need a Constitution saving throw from you.
Is this poison or is this something else?
It's still fucking poison. Doesn't matter. Don't roll it. +2. So that is 15 points of damage from the vine. And then it still tries to beak you. That's a 22 to hit on the beak.
Yep.
And that's minimum damage for 4 piercing.
I go down.
And you all see as Tosha goes limp and this thing starts climbing back up about 15 feet up into the tree, carrying Tosha's body.
Although I believe I can use Relentless Endurance to pop back up to 1 HP, right?
You can try, yeah. Or you can. Yep.
Alright, I do that, so I have 1.
Tosha goes down briefly, pops their eyes open, and you notice, Tosha, as you're being carried up into the tree. Mama, the one on you. Attacking with a vine first. That's a 19 to hit. Need a Constitution saving throw.
So 13.
13, I believe, succeeds. It does. It does. That's a good. So that is 9, 10, 11 points of bludgeoning damage. And then it goes to BQ. That's a 22 to hit with the beak. For 7 damage.
Was I supposed to roll con?
Oh, you do have to roll a con for this, yeah. Oh, no, you did. You rolled that save already.
Okay.
Not for the beak. There's no con for the beak.
Okay.
Don't ask for more rules. I'll give them to you.
That's true. That's true.
All right, and the last one, Callie, the one that you struck, has been... no, that one's dead. This is the one on Tosha. I think I actually lost count of them. There should just be the one on Tosha and the one on Mama left, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. I just have an extra one here.
That's the last thing you want to hear your DM say. It's like, oh yeah, you're fighting the ancient dragon. Oh no, I lost track of one. Let's put him into the game.
No, there were supposed to be 4 of these, and then I meant to remove one to make it 3 because I was thinking about it earlier, and then I never did. And then so there's 4 in the rotation, but it was only supposed to be 3. And I skipped it once and forgot about it. But Mama, it's your turn.
Well, I'm casting lightning again, and I'm going to aim it toward, if I can, because I got the little scully things last time. Is it possible for me to either angle it to hit the plant that's carrying Tosha, or some of the scullies that are by Derek, without hitting anybody else?
If you were going for the Scullies by Derek, because they're on the ground, you do run the risk of zapping folks in the area. But if you go for the one, I think, because one is like in your face, like you are right here, so you can kind of do your best to position it so you don't catch Tosha. So yeah, you can get the one that's got Tosha and yours.
Okay, I'm going to do that then. And that's a DC, it's a Dex 14 for that.
That is a natural 20 and a 4.
Yay.
Well, let's see.
You love a 4.
10. And that's 10.
I love to see it.
That's 3. So that's 20. Wait, that was a 10. That's 10. That's 3. So that's 23. 27.
27. All right. So the one over Tosha actually drops down about 10 feet. It just, you really knocked it off its kind of focus and didn't expect that. So it actually slides down 10 feet, Tosha 10 feet closer to the ground. And you did just a real good chunk of damage to it.
Okay, and then mine gets half damage, so. 27, so that'd be another 13.
Yep. All right.
Is it
Anything else on
starting
your
to
turn?
look a little rough, or
The one on you?
yeah?
It's starting to look a little rough. Yeah. It's more than bloodied.
Well, good.
The one on Tosha, you did more than half its health in a turn, half its max in a turn, so it got a penalty and fell down.
Nice.
Anything else on your turn, Mama?
I think that's all I can handle.
Tosha, that's you.
Alrighty. If I attack with the Shadow Blade, do I make that with disadvantage because it's grappling me?
Yes.
We're in dim light, right?
Yes.
So the Shadow Blade gets like auto advantage too, so that'll
Oh,
help.
so yeah, you'll be rolling a straight roll.
Okay, awesome. In that case, I am going to use my bonus action to cast Shadow Blade, and attempt to strike this thing grappling me with the Shadow Blade.
All right, let's see it.
That's a fun spell.
Yes. All right. That is 3. That is an 18 to hit.
All right, with an 18, yeah, you hit.
Awesome. And I'm going to say that I cast that at 3rd level. So that'll be 3d8 necrotic.
Let's declare that when you cast it in the future, just for future reference.
The worst. I'm actually gonna use 1 sorcery point to empower that to re-roll 2 of my dice, because I rolled 1s on 2 of them. All right, that's going to be 17 necrotic damage. Oh, pardon me, not necrotic, psychic.
Possibly a very, very important difference. All right. Oh, and Molly, you had asked earlier about that one. I realized I'd applied the damage inversely. So the one that you were fighting does look really rough. The one that
Okay.
Tosha's fighting also looked pretty rough because you took out half its hit points. But yeah, so they're both looking like they're falling apart at this point, especially after Tosha's last strike.
Cool.
All right. Anything else, Tosha? You good?
I believe that is going to be it. I don't think I can do anything else.
All right, Callie, there's a handful of these little spider things, but as they've been thinned out, you notice that a lot of them look like they're starting to scatter. There's 2 of these vine things still going, and like I said, you know that these things will kind of like the little trimmings and stuff that are getting cut off of them will leave seeds of vines that will grow in the future. They don't really kind of have like strong self-protection sense, so they'll probably keep coming. But there's one over Tosha and one over Mama, and they both look just awful, just real bad.
Okay. Well, I saw Tosha take a brief death nap, and so I'm going to charge towards them with my sword and just sort of like dive up into it to try to like finish it off. So Short sword strikes. Oh, the one above me is dead. So bonus action, move my hunter's mark to Tosha's best buddy, and then we shall attack. Short swords.
Schwa.
First one's a 17, which I'm assuming will hit, and then the follow up would be in 25. Oh, you're muted. Sorry, couldn't hear you.
That's because I was hitting the wrong button. Both of those definitely hit.
Okay, first one is 10 piercing plus hunter's mark 2, so 12 piercing damage.
And that was on who's first? Sorry.
Tosha's.
Tosha's. 12 piercing damage. You shoot straight through the center of the nest, and you can kind of see the last few that are holding together kind of like separate and fall apart as it just falls to the ground. Tosha, falling only 5 feet and not taking any damage, importantly, lands on the soft ground below.
Okay, and then I will use. I'm presuming we're all pretty close. It's a campsite after all. Use the rest of my movement to dash over to Mama, and do my second strike on it, which was the aforesaid 25.
All right. Yep, that also hits.
Oh boy. Oh, I don't have the hunter's mark on this, but still 12. 6 plus 6. Oh, but
Nice.
my little boy, my little dragon. I know it doesn't do all the damage. He'll help me because he loves his mama.
Aw.
No, it's 2 again. So 1 fire. So 13 total.
But he only had, or it only had 1 hit point left. And
I hope so.
And it's still got Mama. And it's
Dang
still
it.
trying, but you cleared a huge chunk off of what's left. It's like not really able to pull itself up as effectively as it could before. This looks like 2 vines tied together with a beak in the middle at this point.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, and that's all we got.
Oh, that's all. That's all for your turn.
That's all.
Okay. Elias, your turn.
Tosha's on the ground now.
Yes.
Okay, so I give up my idea of climbing the tree like a squirrel and then trying to get over to heal and kill. So I'm just gonna run over and I will drop the healer's kit on Tosha. That is going to be that's not bad. 14 points of healing.
Yeah, Tosha, Alar runs by, slaps, you've had a few of these. They're like poultices that are pre-prepped that he just like peels a leaf off of and slams against your thigh where you've been cut into pretty bad. And it's like weirdly soothing. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm grabbing dice. And I'm going to run over to Mama with whatever rest of my movement I have if I can get over there. If not, I'll throw something. But if I can get there, I'm going to get to... Actually, is it up or is it still reachable from the ground?
It's still reachable from the ground.
Okay, I'm going to go and I'll stab it with the rapier.
All right. Stab.
Okay. Is a 16 going to hit?
A 16 does hit.
Okay. In that case, that is going to be... And Mama's within... You're conscious, right? Cool. Awesome. That is going to be...
Sorry, yes. I was muted.
23 damage to the one holding Mama.
Yeah, that'll do it. As you kind of like pierce in, and the tip of the sword kind of passes through like a bunch of the vines that are trying to knock it out of the way, and just pierces right into the center of this thing, the heart or beak or whatever it is there. You hit something solid and it wiggles on the end of your rapier for just a few seconds before finally going limp. You do have the sense that continuing to touch the vines is probably a bad idea, as it seems like they're kind of prickly, like as you brush up against them. So you do know that you want to be pretty mindful of these things.
I will avoid them as much as possible, but once it goes down, I will kind of like glance around. Are the only things left the little head crab things?
Yeah, and you can see that they've mostly started turning and have sort of look like they're more getting away, trying to protect themselves than whatever they thought was going to happen here did not go in their favor.
I like that, like visually, because this is all happening at like it's a 6-second time period. Callie basically kills that one, goes for the other, and then like right in Callie's path, you just see Alar running behind, healing, and then coming in to stab from the other side.
The kind of tech teamwork I like to see.
Yeah, but after that, I'm out. So,
All right. On these things' turns, Derek, you can take a reaction to strike as all three of them kind of break form.
Me or the zombie?
Actually, honestly, both of you.
Okay. Well, for me, actually, I'll roll for him first because I actually know his stuff. It's +3. 16 for the zombie. For 5 damage, if it hits. And for me...
The zombie finally kills that one it's been working on.
Success! Give him a commendation later. And my... +5. Oh my god! Sorry, I need to take Warcaster. The zombie can do it. The zombie's max damage is only 1 less than my max damage on a melee attack. Not when I don't hit though. So that's gonna be a 7 + 5. That's a 12.
1 second. No, it's a 13.
Yeah, how about that?
It would have hit the vines though. You know,
Good job, zombie.
for what that's worth.
You don't get a name. That's what I'll do. He killed the thing. I'll give him a name.
I would say that there's others rifling past you, Callie, as they're just kind of running out of, like, breaking out of here.
Oh, I will take a swing. I'm personally offended and embarrassed that I made such a horrible mistake, and so I would like nothing to escape to come back to get us. So, you hurt my friends, I shall stab you. Oh, but I don't think 14. You said 13 hits. 14.
14 hits. Callie's like, oh no, I rolled a 2. It's only a 14.
Yeah, right. 9 damage.
Yeah, you crush one as it goes running by.
Yeah. Cost of embarrassment.
But I'll say with that, we're out of initiative as those last ones go skittering away. But everything goes quiet.
Oh.
Well,
Did you guys see what Arnold did? Look at him. Got a whole kill. I call him Arnold because he's so strong. Arnie. He's bulky and strong, and you see like little zombies just like sitting there, dead like pan face, just doing this motion. He looks kind of buff because of all the deadlifting he's been doing.
I
Does
get
he
out the
respawn?
twig to talk to plants, and I pointed at the tree that all those fucking things came from.
Tell
Mama,
off a
why
tree.
have you betrayed me?
I'm just going. So, how can we tell in the future which one of you are playing host to a host of those little things in the future? Any advice? Also, you can talk to me.
Whoa, you can talk.
Yeah.
Mama, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
I think she got scared by some fiddlesticks.
Where's my persuasion? It's a 17.
Which the the bug things?
Yeah, the bug things.
We all got bug things. It's the
Oh.
swamp.
Oh, well, see, I'm not from the swamp, so thank you for the good advice. I'll make sure I avoid camping in the swamp in the future.
Oh yeah, folks like you tend to end up food. You shouldn't be coming here. It's not very safe. Being trees
Yeah.
all right though. There's plenty of water, and occasionally somebody burns you with lightning. Not often. But to me, it's happened twice just recently.
Imagine
Oh.
that. Hmm. You don't say. Well, you have a nice evening.
Oh, I will.
Do we hear
Sleep.
Mama's end of this? Oh, I'm sorry.
You do hear Mama's end of this because it's all in whatever language Mama's just speaking.
Mama,
Yeah.
I have a terrible idea, but Derek will like it. Does it happen to know if anyone passed through here and died within the near vicinity? Like if there's a body lying around, preferably one that
Well,
still has a head.
he has said that people end up food.
Mhm.
Well, I should say they. So tree.
Mhm.
I gotta make sure. They said that
I'm actually dioecious.
you're dioecious. Okay.
I hate that
You have
that
a
makes sense.
That's perfect. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate it. Excellent. So do you prefer going back and forth between he and she, or do you prefer a they?
I don't know what all that means.
Okay. Did you see a body that had a head attached?
Yeah, I just saw 5 of them. Unless you count the beasts, there's another 5 of those too.
Okay, then. Elias, I don't think that they have seen what you're asking.
Okay. Thank you.
Some days I love this branch, and then sometimes not so sure. Um,
Sometimes
Does
you
it?
have a chorus of like messed up moss in your head or the dopiest tree in the swamp.
I do love the potted plant though. That was my favorite.
Mm.
I hope they're growing well. I think that we sent into the web well.
One more thing, you should be careful. Some of the folks who die but don't get eaten, when they keep their heads, they just get up and start eating just like everything else.
And they don't look like the bugs. They just still look like they did, but just
I don't
different.
have eyes.
That's fair. Just wasn't
Um,
sure what you'd heard through the root system. I tell Alar, Elias.
oh, that's terrifying.
Y-
I was thinking, if we found a cool bog body, we could pull it out and get Arnold a new friend, but apparently they're already walking. So,
Yeah, yeah, that they are.
Nate.
Call
I have not been doing this recently, but I probably should be. For that alchemist supplies over the course of the long rest, you can make stuff. Can I make antitoxin with some of the supplies I bought back in Bastion? It's on the list. So
You can absolutely make some antitoxin.
okay. And can I harvest some from the wyvern poison gland that we have in the jar?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead and give me an alchemist kit check.
I'm glad I built this. All right. That is going to, ooh, yay. That is going to be a 24.
A 24. You actually get 2 doses.
Yay.
Ooh.
Okay. The first antitoxin, I'm immediately, because Tosha does not need it, I'm gonna go over, and as soon as I have it made, I'm gonna hand that to Callie. and just be like, this is preventative. So weirdly enough, it's not anti-venom, but it is preventative. So if you drink this, you get an hour of resistance to the poisoned effect. And on the off chance we run into Miss E or more of anything, could come in handy.
Much appreciated, because my goodness.
Yeah. I
Levels
have
do
enough
sting.
supplies to make one more of those. They're like 25 gold a pop if I make them, because it's like half price if you make it. And this is I'm gonna make one more tomorrow. I'll probably give that to Mama, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I would presume, because I'm from the swamp, that we also have poisoned venoms, things like that. So I might know in this area what herbs to add to my collection for Alar. So just kind of like add to my grocery list of, if I see this, I get this.
Yeah, I would say you could get the for 1 day's travel, instead of your typical benefit in rations, you could get 1 dose of antitoxin amount of things.
Yeah, they're not going to fix us if we get poisoned, but they will help prevent poisoning. So, kind of limited use case, but could be helpful in the right situation.
Oh yeah, no. If we are quick on the draw, we can save ourselves a lot of trouble. Yeah.
If anything
you.
does necrotic, we have that potion. If it ever comes up, I'm sure something will eventually. This has been sitting there for a while. All right, thank you. I'm gonna go make these changes. Thanks, Nate.
Yep. All right. And actually, on that note, let's go ahead and take our break. You all managed to make it through the rest of your night uneventfully, whether that means staying in the spot or moving to a slightly different spot if it makes you feel more comfortable. And we'll begin the next day of travel when we come back in about 10, probably closer to 15, if I'm being realistic, minutes. See you in a bit.
And I need to decrease.
And we're back. I was right. It was closer to 15 minutes. All right. So, um, Embers only. You have wrapped up 3 now days of travel, correct? 4 left on your path as you're heading through some of the tangled wood in this marsh. Luckily, you have someone with you who negates all of the rules that I forgot I didn't need to make for this area.
Aw.
Don't you circumvented a bit. As you head into these tangled woods of the northern Bogspine Hollow, go ahead and give me a D12 roll. Eeny, meeny, miny, Tosha.
Whew.
Great. Yep. This will go well. $12.
Excellent. Um, so, making your way through the forest. Callie, you're a bit on edge, one, after just the events of last night, and those things that you ran into were particularly stealthy and were not things that you run into in your typical outing. And as you're keeping an eye out, you do notice that this area is actually quite maze-like, and if you weren't extremely skilled at finding your way through the forest, you could very easily get lost in here. And you're kind of like, hey, everybody, like, stay within eye shot. Like, literally, you might go to walk around a tree, and it just goes further than you expect, and you're lost. Um, and as you're kind of picking your way through here, stopping every hour, spending 10 minutes to re-up your water walking, you pause in a slightly less damp area for the horses to sit and wait while you start prepping your water walk. And Callie, you notice on the very Mama, you actually notice the sounds first, but like it's kind of hard to pick out which sounds are dangerous and which ones aren't. But Callie, you notice just as you're looking around that you have there's quite a bit of bugs around here, and it's the bog. That's just something that happens. But you notice some of the larger bugs passing between some of these trees. And you do notice some of them start making their way closer to you. So you're about 5 minutes into your casting. You look around and you can see that there are bugs kind of starting to close in on you from multiple directions. But you are not surprised by them because this is the kind of thing you look out for specifically. Muted.
I'm sorry. We could potentially try to keep Mama safe while she continues. We all dispatch with these bugs. How many would we estimate, or would we feel like we could like move through them if we kept going, even slogging manually?
You know most of the bugs because most of the bugs that are problems fly. They'll probably catch up to you if you're slogging manually. But as far as Mama, or excuse me, as far as how many there are, the larger bugs tend to stick into smaller groupings. Smaller bugs obviously are also capable of swarming, but the large, really dangerous bugs, like they tend to send out or pass around in groups of like little scouting groups, unless you're like sitting on top of a hive, and you've unfortunately been uncomfortably close to one, and you know that when you're near a nest or a hive of some of these larger insects, that there's like just a deep rumble of the buzzing going on, and you would know, and you are not there.
All right,
Are these
excellent.
the head crabs coming at us, or are they different insects?
Flying insects.
Okay.
Can I
Neat.
cast?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just gonna say if Callie like alerts us to that, then I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself as these things are in the distance.
Sounds like something to probably try to do. Yeah, do that. What was that called?
Nate.
Yes.
The Eau de Couthric smells like dead, rotting flesh, right? Like delicious, nice, tasty, good for insects, dead, rotting flesh.
It does to you specifically. It smells like dead rotting flesh,
Okay.
and of a gross, but like dead rotting flesh. Yep.
If Derek's okay with this, what I'd like to try to do, just to see if like you can use it as an attractant. I want to see if we could like scent Arnold with the Eau de Kuthric and basically have him tank the bugs. But it's up to you if you're okay with that.
I don't know how much of a tank you think Arnie is. He's
Well,
taking a hit, and that's it. Like,
right, he's like a
this
skeleton,
man
right?
is literally being held together by like a prayer and a wish, and not even a wish, mostly just a prayer
Okay.
that I have to cast daily.
Well, it would have been nice. Maybe I look around, I don't see anything else laying around. I was like, all right, well, I guess we're just gonna stick with that for the time being.
All right.
I need to carry my paperwork.
And you do see two distinct sets of groups of bugs making your way, Callie, from about 100 feet away. You see two of those botfly things
Oh no.
coming up one side, kind of. If that group is coming from 12 o'clock, then down around 7 o'clock, you see a small swarm of three. You know what? Go ahead and give me a nature check with whatever benefits you get to that.
Roger that.
Excuse me, it is not a monstrosity, so no monstrosity benefit,
But it's swampy, so
but it's swampy.
okay. With my swampy knowledge, survival or nature? Sorry, you said nature, right?
I said nature.
Okay, that's a 21.
With a 21, these are what folks refer to as sturges. They have a long.
No.
They're essentially large mosquitoes. And
Fucking nightmare.
you also notice swarms of smaller insects. It's kind of hard to tell at a distance. Again, these ones are maybe 60 feet from you, but there's a couple of just like little clouds that are dark, heavy, black little insects. You're afraid they might be some sort of biting or stinging fly that are also heading your direction on the hunt for food.
Well, I don't want those bot flies. And you said there's a group of how many of them?
Two.
Just two. Okay. And 3 sturges?
4 sturges.
4 sturges.
Is that it? We only have the 6 bugs coming at us?
No.
6 bugs and a couple of swarms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we want to try to make our stand here?
Well, they're flying, so even with me keeping our pace, like we're not slowed by difficult terrain, but it's still terrain, and they can fly. So it's up to you guys. Like you could try, but you might get in a worse spot.
Tosha, what fire magic do you have?
I have fireball, and I also have firebolt.
Okay.
I can make Callie's arrows fire.
Let me know
You
if
make
you
my
want.
arrows fire?
Oh yeah,
What?
I'm getting better.
Let me know if you
Woo!
want to. That's actually not a terrible idea. Okay, in that case, I'll pull out my bottle bomb and just get that ready. And then, if I can get oil in the other one, what I could probably do is I could try to get the bog flies with oil, so that when you do like flaming arrows or something, they're more likely to catch. And then, since I think they're bad to fire, that'll help with that. And then I can use the bomb on like one of those swarms or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, DM, if you'll allow me, I don't know how much time we have before these are finished, but
Like 6 seconds.
I would like to use an action to try to focus. I want to try to hit
I just want to
fireball
see.
to see if I can hit as many of like the groups as possible.
So one of the drawbacks of your current situation is that you can only really focus on one thing at a time, and you can't really see other things in your periphery. So if you're like, you need to be directed towards something, you can't really like scan the horizon and be like, here's where everything is. Like, you literally need help being like, oh, okay, focus over here. Do you see it? There you are.
I'll ask someone if someone can help me where I should put this fireball. I can try to focus now so that I can hit
If you
some
c-
bugs.
if you
Raise your
could,
arm up and down.
yeah, if you could start on those bot flies, because we know they can infect, and I will focus on the sturges at first, because I have a spell that can hit multiple targets at once, and I get more bang for my buck the more there are. So, but you do and that's amazing. So,
All right. In that case, yeah, I'll use my action to try to focus on where Callie pointed out the bot flies were coming from.
All right. I need initiative from everybody.
here we go.
God.
Big die.
Okay. Still only a
Hey!
+2
For you.
initiative.
Hey, that's not
Good
bad.
big
Okay.
die.
I'm gonna use my Tides of Chaos to re-roll that.
All right, sounds good.
Looking forward to this.
Oh, it was worse.
Okay, so Tosha,
3.
Elias,
20.
Mama,
16.
Derek,
Yes, I got an 8.
Callie.
I'm sending Club Quick emergency.
Callie got a 20 as well.
So you definitely go before me.
Just by a tiny bit. A little. In 100 years, you can also go at the same time as me.
To beat me, you gotta wake up 100 years early.
There's early risers, and then there's people who are already awake. My
There's
father
people who read a fucking book.
All right, so Callie, at this point, let me double check distances. The assassin bugs, the botfly things, appear to be about 50 feet from you. The Sturge group appears to be about 60 feet from you. And those swarms look like they're about 50 feet or so away from you as well.
Okay. Would I get the feeling like if I were to fire at the swarms, it'd be just like one hit for the entire swarm, as opposed to like hitting 100 times or something like that? Like, but mechanically speaking.
Yeah, it's a swarm creature, so like single target things generally don't affect it as strongly as area effects do, but you know.
Roger that. No, that makes 100% sense. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to move 10 feet towards the Sturges, which is 10 feet away from the botflies. And I'm going to cast Hail of Thorns on myself as a bonus action. So cast that. And then I'm going to take 2 shots at the bot flies. So incoming. How does an 18 sound? Wait, hold on. This is my bow. Longbow, sorry. No, that's a dirty 20. Die at 20.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. So the first gentleman will take my arrow damage. Is hold on. Sorry, I'm bouncing back and forth between tabs. Plus 6. So 9 magical piercing damage. And then all of the Sturges need to make a dexterity saving throw and beat 14. Please.
That's 2 21s, weirdly, and 2 11s, weirdly.
Okay. So 2, I think, are totally fine. Yeah, that happens. Half as much damage. So the 21s will take half of a d10. So they take 5 divided in 2.
All right.
I could roll for each one, but I figured you'd want me to just roll for the samies. And then the ones that fail take 9 full.
All right. All of the Sturges are dead.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. So then with my second shot, I guess I'll pivot, and go for one of the swarms, I guess. It's only a 14. Oh no, wait, my bow, 11 plus 11, 15.
That will hit.
Okie dokie. Oh, it's only 7 magical piercing, but Val's gonna snort at these guys.
Nice.
Perfect. And he does 3 fire damage with his little snort on my arrow. Yeah, I think he squares off because he feels like he's doing a lot of work when in fact he's just kind of waking. But for now, that is all we got.
All right. Elias, your turn.
Okay. So we're down all the Sturges, so we just have the botflies and sorry, I hit my mic. Botflies and the swarms.
Correct.
Cool. Botflies hopefully are going to get a fireball to the face or firebolt, one of the two. So I'm going to go ahead and I will throw my last bottle bomb at the swarms. Let me take a quick look at this. Okay. Cool. All right. All right, range attack roll. Let's pull that up. Yeah. Okay. 17 plus 7 is going to be a 24.
That hits. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure does.
So one of the swarms is just doused in the bottle bomb alcohol burning, so it's just all over the whole thing.
All right.
Nothing happens until the beginning of its turn, technically.
Okay.
But yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, I say you whip this and you hit it just off of there's like a big
It's like a tree
root, like a tree root. Yeah, that kind of curls up and over, and they're passing under, and you just smash it across the top, and it falls down on them. It also seems to slow them down.
Oh, cool.
Being a swarm of tiny insects, getting wet isn't really something that they enjoy.
They probably also don't appreciate the alcohol, honestly.
Yeah, you know.
Just hitting them with a bunch of whiskey. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and use this because I think it'll be funny. I'm going to go over to Callie and I'll take my bonus action and I will put my basic poison on one of your arrows and just be like, this is basic poison. And then just hand that off to you. That's about it.
I'll do my best to not poke myself.
There you go.
It's maybe an extra D4 of poison damage, but might as well get rid of those. And I don't think these guys need the wyvern poison. So,
Mama.
So, how far away are the Sturges?
They're dead.
The botflies?
They're about 50 foot. And judging by the speed that you see them flying at, they'll probably close the distance in their next action.
Okay. So I'm gonna call lightning. Not lightning bolt, but call lightning.
All right. So you're gonna drop the spell that you're in the middle of doing.
Yep.
Okay.
Because I'm afraid of those botflies because I had one try to impregnate me and I was not happy about it. So I'm gonna call lightning. It's a 10-foot tall cylinder with a 60-foot radius. So anything under that cloud has to do a dexterity saving throw, which I'm sure they're good at. And they take 3d10 lightning damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one.
Is that...
It is not lightning bolt, it is call lightning. It's on my sheet. It's a druid spell.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's the 60-foot cylinder. Within that cylinder, you pick a 5-foot an area that within 5
Okay.
feet of it, that happens. So it's not all creatures in the 60 foot. You pick a small area that actually strikes.
Okay.
Could you
Okay.
get 2 of them if you
Because
pick one?
Yeah.
you basically like decide where the lightning is going to affect,
Okay.
and then you pick where in there specifically you're hitting with the lightning.
Are they flying close together?
I would say, yeah, they're within 10 feet of each other, so you could center that so you tag them both.
Okay. I'd like to do that.
Dex
Okay.
save, that's a 14 and a all of 11.
Okay. Well, one makes it, one doesn't. Come on. Okay. That's 5, 8, and 6. 11, 19. Not as much as I've hoped for. Won't do that spell again. Although I think I can move
You
the
could,
point.
I was going to say, you can keep doing it like on your turn. That's
Yeah.
that's the benefit of the spell, is you can just keep launching the lightning.
Cool.
Benefit spells, you can wild shape and keep doing it.
So one got 19, one took whatever half of that is. 7
9.
or 9. 8. Yeah, 8. Yeah. Math is not my strong suit.
Haha, you know what I totally forgot to do? Roll initiative or any of the enemies, so they're all in here at 0. So I guess they're all going last, because we've already gotten so far.
They weren't looking for a fight, it just happened.
Weirdly, they showed up and they got surprised. All right, cool. Anything else on your turn, Mama?
No.
All right. Derek, that's you.
Oh, wait, yes. Wait.
Derek,
I
that's
don't know
not
if
you
it's
yet.
a bonus. I don't know if it's a bonus action. I have to check. We're outside, so I was gonna hide in the wild.
No, you still have to use your action
Yeah.
to hide. You can just use Mask of the Wild to, like, you can basically hide where you're at because there's enough foliage. That's your benefit. You don't have to like Alar has to find a rock or something to hide behind.
Okay. Well, cool. Then I do that.
All right, Derek. Now you can't. It's not a bonus action. It's still an action. But Derek, it's your turn.
Just a heads up, rereading the bonus action aspect of Animate Dead. I did goof a little bit. It's a bonus action to make him do anything, otherwise he defends himself. He doesn't work the same as like what I presume would be like a normal
Okay.
summon spell.
Yep,
I mean, he only smushed one of those little spider things, so I don't think it's super breaking, but just so you know going ahead why I'm doing things differently now. So I'm gonna do my bonus action first and have him just kind of like Arnie's just gonna take off in towards the storm cloud with the swarms and such in it, and just kind of make as much ruckus as possible. Like he picks up a stick off the ground, he's like, click, 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 click. As he's most definitely going into battle with that stick. And gets about 30 feet and then stops because that's all he can do. But he's gonna try and make himself a target. Meanwhile, I'll run over to Callie and poke her bow and give her what's the spell she called again? Elemental weapon, I think it is. Elemental weapon fire. Just take one more look. There she is. And we're gonna use fire. So it's a +1 bow now. Why is it making me roll? Okay, it's weird.
It's just rolling damage for you because it has damage dice built into the spell. So
gotcha.
D20 or D&D Beyond does stupid stuff with those.
Gotcha. And that's my only second level spell because I have to cast Animate Dead at the start of every day to keep Arnie alive. But it's a +1 bow that does an extra D4 fire damage now.
Woohoo!
And Kelly, as you knock another arrow, you can see that the bow kind of gets, when Derek upgrades your bow magically, it gets kind of like all the little metal plates and spikies on it. But as you place the arrow and draw back, you can see there's like a strange piece of very thin parchment that wraps around the arrow, and it has a little triangle with a flame on the inside, and it just kind of, just a little phantom fire just ignites on the tip of the arrow.
Exciting. Oh, can't wait.
That's your turn, Dick.
That's me.
All right, Tosha.
All right. At the point that was kind of pointed out to me where the bogflies are, I want to cast fireball at them. So any of them within a 20-foot radius sphere need to make a Dex 15.
That's a dirty 20 and a 9.
All right. And I am going to use 1 sorcery point for empowered to reroll up to 4 of these.
And
I got some low things.
I need you to do me a favor just before you give me this number here. Could you roll D% for me?
Potted plant. Potted plant. I there's no way it's ever gonna happen. But it would be so cool if like we were in a horrible fight for our lives. About to TPK. That goes off. Potted
That's
plant
definitely
left.
gonna happen. What are you talking?
We all die. Hour later, Tosha comes back. It's just all of our bodies.
16 on that percent roll.
Cool. 1 second.
The enemies who killed us like go home and talk about it later. Like, yeah, they kept protecting this potted plant.
Thunder and lightning outside, Tosha's face in the window. Just
So, Callie, you were keeping an eye out, so I'm going to say you were on the perimeter.
Okay.
Alar, you moved to get in position to attack. So I'm going to say you are out. Mama, Derek, I'm going to say you're both within 10 feet of where Tosha is.
okay.
And I will say that Prickles, Stall, and Bert are within 10 feet.
No prickles.
I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
What the hell is
Wisdom.
prickles'
Ooh.
wisdom?
I feel like a pony should be smarter than a warhorse. We'll just say.
Including you.
My wisdom. Oh, well, mine's
They
a
have-
25.
Warhorses have a +1 wisdom. I'll roll for what's his fuss. The grumpy one.
Snort.
Snort.
Snort's not within 10 feet.
Oh hell yeah! Good job, Snort.
Is Purdy within 10 feet?
Purdy was
Sorry.
not within 10 feet.
Okay.
Hey.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so saves. Let's
It's
go.
an 18 for. Oh, sorry.
Let's go. Okay, Molly, go ahead and give me both of yours because I think you've already given me both of them. I don't remember.
So it was a 25 for me. It was an 18 for Bert.
All right.
I wanted to say Stall, but it was
Both
the
of
wrong
you.
horse.
Both of you are fine. Derek.
That's a 25 for Derek because he got a +7 to that shit.
Yeah.
And then that is a 7 for Prickles.
Prickles is confused per the spell.
Usually.
Tosha.
Just starts whisking a bush.
8.
Tosha is confused as per the spell.
Just put confusion into Google. Like I was expecting it to know I meant D&D. And I was very like it just spat out all the fucking shit, and I was like, wait, what? None of this is helpful. Oh, here we go.
All right.
All right, can I give you that fireball damage?
You can give me the fireball
Compilation
damage now.
all right, so the one that failed the dex check takes 29 fire damage, and the one that made it takes 14.
All right. And if you recall, these things were impacted by the fire more than you would expect previously. So that one that takes the 29 just is not there anymore. There is not even ash to blow away. Like, it's just poof, and it's gone. You just vaporized it. The other one, bloody is not like the best descriptor of its current state, but it does not look good, and it is definitely below half health.
Charred.
Swiss and otherwise.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's it for me.
And now the bugs go.
Some of them.
So that one that got and is still barely there, immediately turns the opposite direction and buzzes 100 feet away from you. The Sturges are just lying dead. Those two swarms make their way over to Arnie. And let's see. They both swarm in on Arnie's space and try to bite Arnie.
Weird question.
I would have it no other way.
For the swarm that's on fire, if they both go into Arnie's space, is that going to catch the other swarm and or Arnie on fire?
I'm going to say there's a strong chance of it catching either of them on fire, although it is probably going to affect the swarm more than Arnie, as in the save will be harder for the swarm than it is for Arnie.
Cool.
One of them actually hits. I'm assuming an 8 does not hit the AC.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Well, both of them hit then.
Zombie. Like,
oh, I was thinking. Oh, actually, I don't remember the stats for skeletons in this game, so. You know.
I think skeletons are the same. If they're just base, I can look it up. What again? I just put into Google the word skeleton and just presumed that it knew I meant D&D. I'm having a bad night. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, these guys have
Armor.
Yes, they have armor. Arnie doesn't have armor. Also, why the fuck am I not making skeletons? This guy's way better than Arnie, and they're the same CR.
The first one does 14 damage.
Okay, Arnie's dead. No, he's not. Never mind. He's up. He's up. He's up.
And the second one does 12 damage.
I don't suppose this is poison damage.
No, this is piercing damage.
So you said that's a grand total of
14 and 12, 26.
He is down and he's dead.
Is he? Doesn't he have?
Oh wait,
like
no.
a...
If damage reduces 0 to 0 hit points, he makes a con saving throw of DC 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or in the form of a critical hit. On success, the zombie drops to 1 hit point instead. Yep. All right, so 5 plus the damage taken.
It would be the second attack.
So the 12.
Yep, it'd be 17.
DC 17 con save at a +3. Needs a 14 or higher. Come on, Arnie. Nat 20!
I will say with a nat 20, Arnie actually doesn't take the 12 damage. He just straight doesn't take that 12 damage.
They inject his arm, the arm falls off. And he's just like, ah!
Grabs the arm. He has a weapon.
They're biting onto his flesh, but it's not doing anything. Amazing, Arnie.
Wow. Wow.
Great
Arnie
work.
will outlive us all. No, I think the MVP is probably the person that kept you from dealing with the whole fucking, like, maze rules that I had set up for this region. All right, Callie.
All right, well, so you said the remaining botfly is flying away? And just have the swarms by Arnie now? Okay.
Yes, the remaining botfly is about 150 feet away from you, and then the two swarms are harrying Arnie, but they have definitely stopped at Arnie.
For the swarm that's on fire, because they take it on their turn,
yeah.
That one's going to go ahead and take 3 fire damage.
All right. And yes, it actually takes 6 damage from that.
Yay.
Excellent. So
Sorry, 1 second, because the swarms are. Since these swarms are all sharing a space with Arnie, I do need a dexterity saving throw from Arnie. It's just a DC 8.
Oh, well, at his -2 dex, he's got a 50-50 shot.
You can do it.
The second
Come on,
swarm
Arnie.
just caught fire.
Come on, Arnie. Ugh. That's a 4.
Oh,
All right.
buddy.
Arnie and the second swarm catch fire.
Oh, Arnie.
Honestly, that is actually kind of terrifying. A flaming zombie like running at you.
My notes make no sense. It's like Arnie got nat 20. Arnie caught fire.
Arnie, no.
Arnie's like, ugh.
Hmm.
All right. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt your turn, Callie.
Yes, Callie.
it's fine. I don't like these bot flies, and I know they're dangerous, so I'm going to move 10 feet towards it. And he's well within my range now, and I will. Actually, I'll move 35 feet towards it because I'm vengeful. And I'll fire my longbow.
All right.
It's like even if it moves again, I'm chasing it down. Even if I miss twice, I'm taking this. 4 plus 12, 16 to hit.
16 hits.
Thank you, Derek. What does the fire damage do, Derek? Is it a
1d4.
1d4. Oh my. It is 14 magical piercing with my bow, and 1d4 fire. 2 fire.
Doubled, right? Because of botfly?
Doubled to 4. So, like, you take this shot at this one that's buzzing away, and you hit it in the back, and it kind of veers forward, and you think it's about to hit the swamp, and it catches itself. And it has just the slightest little bit. And 2 seconds later, there's a little as fire goes off finally from the arrow, and it just careens into the swamp, splashing down.
Delightful.
As you did
Sweet.
exactly its hit points and damage.
Yay! I will then pivot sharply and fire my second shot at the swarm that seems the hardiest.
All right.
That is another 16. 4 plus 12.
All right, that hits.
Okay. 11 magical piercing plus 3 fire from the arrow plus 1 fire from Val.
Nice.
All right, and as you hit, you can kind of see these are like distinct swarms that are coming in on I don't know why I almost called him Henry. I'm not sure where that name was coming from. Arnie. But like as they're swarming around them and they've both kind of thinned out, you start to lose the space between the swarms, and it looks like there's only one swarm left, and they've just sort of like pooled whatever was left is all kind of acting on its own. Still on fire. Still just looking all kinds of the bad. You also note, as probably expected, the arrow itself didn't really catch a lot of flies. It's just sort of like an inconvenient thing, but the fire caught a lot of flies as it went through.
Good. Yeah, I imagine one fly got really fucked up, and then the rest just kind of got the fire.
All right, that's Alar.
None of the damage types that I can generally do are going to do anything against the swarms. Are the Sturges still around?
Nope, they're long gone.
Okay, so the only thing that's around left is the
those swarms.
swarm. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move forward I'm going to do the thing for the bottle bomb. I'm going to use my action to try to end the damage on Arnie by making a DC 10 dexterity check to extinguish the flames.
All right.
That's a 7. Sorry, Arnie. And then I'm just gonna turn around and walk back. A bit of a waste. I tried. I did my best. I'm going to assume no way I can do a healer's kit to heal Arnie.
You cannot heal the skeleton with a healer's kit. The poultices just don't seem like they would work.
Fair. That's a big. What's the distance between where I was and where Arnie was? Because I think if Arnie's getting attacked, he probably isn't too much further in front of me.
Yeah. Arnie went 10 feet, and then how fast did that thing shamble? 20 foot?
15.
Yeah, it's 15 feet from that.
I'll just get back with the rest of the group. And is there any visible sign that Tosha is having a bad time? Is there the little Pokemon swirly thing over the head, or?
I mean, Tosha's kind of like looking around wildly.
Okay.
This is something that has probably happened a few times recently, as losing their bearings is something that they're not used to. It looks different, but like, you know what? I'll give you an insight. I'll give you an insight check because you.
I'm also not a magic person, so it makes sense if I don't get the 23.
So bad. You're actually thinking about times that you've seen folks who are almost in like fight or flight mode, and that kind of feels like where Tosha's at. Like they're not taking in everything. They're not really paying quite attention to the things as they're happening. So you do sense that something is off with Tosha.
Okay.
And you did see there was like a burst of energy that came out of Tosha in a weird way when they used that fireball.
I don't really have anything else I can do, so I'll just like spend my bonus action going over to Tosha and just be like, "Are you okay? Do you need me to point you at the bad guys? What's up?" And I'm out.
Cool, Mama.
Are they anywhere close to the cloud? Like, could I find piss off really 3 of the swarm by... Yeah, like, can I just bug zap it, essentially, with some lightning?
They are in the exact same space as Arnie, so you would have to take out Arnie, but you could hit both the swarms real easily. They are well within the 60-foot radius that you have to make that lightning hit.
I don't want to hit Arnie. He's been through so much.
It makes you feel better. He doesn't know that. And
That's
I can
true.
probably actually still bring him back if he dies. His life is pain. It's just paperwork. It's worse than hell. I make him do paperwork and intern stuff and then get murdered, and then the next day he wakes up and does it Groundhog style all over again.
That's... Yep.
Hitting him with lightning at this point would just be a mercy.
All right. I'll say good luck, Arnie. And I cast the lightning for 3d10. They have to do a dex 14 for half damage.
Well, there's only one swarm left, if you recall my note from earlier, and it rolled a total of 13.
Oh.
Come on, Arnie. Oh, Arnie rolled a net one.
Oh no. Well, at least the swarm didn't make it either with that dex 14. Save. So that's a 9, a 3, and a 5. So
Please
14,
tell me that by electrifying.
17.
I'm sorry.
So you zap down into the Arnie, essentially. You straight just bolt of lightning comes down, hits Arnie square just on like the weapon he's got held up that's not really doing anything because he's slamming. And you send the lightning through Arnie, and all these tiny little zaps come out and just like bug zapper this whole swarm as it just all around. Hits the ground, the moist or excuse me, the actual water that Arnie's standing in, and you see it actually dissipate out about 5 feet. That you can still see it like shining, and you see like a couple of fish just bloop, bloop from down below. But it does look like if you strike somebody in the water here, that it does dissipate out a few feet. So you do need to be mindful of that. But yeah, definitely straight through all of those bugs, straight through Arnie. Does he get a save on that one?
He got a nat 1 on that save.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh wait, no, sorry. I'm
He
saying
takes
because
the
it went back
damage
down
and
to
then he
0.
Yeah.
Can he do that every time he hits 0?
Pretty
it just
sure
says
it happens.
if damage reduces to 0 because 0 hit points.
Yeah, it doesn't say like it goes away
Well,
or
I thought it was like
anything
a one-time thingy. All right, cool. All right, well, good. Here we go, Arnie. Good luck, buddy. So that was a total of how much damage?
17.
He just
Plus
needs a
5?
he just needs a
it's nat
22.
20. Actually, 20 or 19. You can do it.
All right, get a 19 or a 20, Arnie. Good luck, buddy. Oh!
This fucking skeleton.
That's so good.
That skeleton
Yep.
is going to outlive us all. That's amazing.
It's already
He's
dead.
already the unkillable.
How many he doesn't just have a name but also a title. Arnie the Unkillable.
How many times
that
do
was
we need
two.
to hit
That
him
was
with
two
lightning?
nat 20s on that same save.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to go
He
down.
is already the unkillable. I would say he gets a +3 on his Constitution saving throw from now on. When
He
you
has
create
a +3.
no, an additional +3 on that
Oh,
Constitution
he's got a
saving throw,
+6.
as though he had
Aw.
proficiency. And that's for any you are making extremely hardy undead. So anytime you summon an undead with this spell specifically, it gets a +3 to its Constitution saving throws.
Wow.
How many times do we need to electrocute Arnie before we bring him back like Frankenstein? And he is just like an actual
Do you think he
character
doesn't
in
already
the
look
story.
like Frankenstein? Like that's why he's making these saves. Things are biting him and finding like tree bark instead of fucking bone, and oil and hydraulic fluid instead of blood. He's
Alright.
just like, let me die. No.
What am I? Alright. So, you've
It's
cleared
Derek's monster, actually.
you've cleared these bugs away. You can start casting your spell again. I need one person to give me a d12 roll to see if any more bugs, because you seem to be in a heavily infested area, to see if any more bugs show up during this time. On a 9 to 12, you guys get interrupted at the 5-minute mark again.
How do you, real quick, while he's doing that, how do you heal an undead? Can you just use a heal spell? It's not like Pathfinder, right, where it's all like...
So you could, I would say you could use the healing word or heal wounds, since necrotic and healing damage are they work differently than they used to.
I think
So
a
is it
number of heal
mending?
spells say like you can't heal undead, but it also depends on the spell, so they're kind of weird. Yeah. That is a 6. And I checked the line, so it is in the right spot.
Cool. So with a 6, nothing else shows up while Mama finishes the spell.
Oh yeah, cure wounds and healing word have no effect on undead.
I would say because of the nature of your magic, what you do, if you create the undead, you can heal them with your healing word and your other heal wounds.
I thought you were gonna say due to the nature of Derek, you could use mending to like arc weld his fucking leg back on.
No, only because mending's a cantrip.
Fair enough.
But the healing word is still arc welding.
Do we need to spare a healer kit or anything for the horse, or did it get pretty well healed? Because I know it's alive but paralyzed, right? Stall? Was it Stall that got bit?
Yeah, and also you notice Stall is paralyzed.
That was from the last fight, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
actually no, he got over that. It took that was the heads, the skulls that walked away.
The current one got confused.
Oh God, I'm sorry. That's
yeah,
right.
current
right,
one
right.
got confused. And as you've mopped up, I'm going to say for the confusion, you're able to kind of like hold your allies and the horse, or your ally and the horse, and kind of keep them like chilled out long enough for that to wear off. That would have been a really gnarly one if you were still fighting, though.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
All right. But yeah, you managed to clear out the last couple swarms. Mama with her bug zapper, Derek with his invincible undead. You finish the spell and start making your way. You make your way all the way until you get to a nice resting spot for the evening. You're still kind of in this more maze-like area, Callie. You figure you'll probably be in this for about another day, depending on, or based off of what you've heard. But yeah, you're cutting through. You've got about 3 more days of travel, 1 more in this kind of area with all of the maze-like, and then thinner mountain, thinner forest as you go up into the mountain. Go ahead and give me a D12 for your camping.
For my keeping?
Camping for the night.
Oh.
D12 to
Can
see
I
if anything
assist?
happens.
Oh. No, D12.
No, D12. Never mind.
Lori's not rolling a D12.
I was going to say, it doesn't need to be Lori. It's, sorry.
Oh, I'll try. There's my D12. That's a 2.
You make it through the night
Oh.
uneventfully.
Thank
You
God.
hear buzzing in the distance, but it always seems to be pretty far off. Nothing seems to come to bother you. You make it through another night in this dangerous swamp.
I'll change my spells because I don't have cure wounds.
Sounds good.
For that long rest, I'm going to go ahead and make another antitoxin, and I'll try to get some more wyvern venom, if that's okay.
All right, give me a roll for the wyvern.
Please don't poison myself.
Already.
That's going to be a 16.
16. Yeah, you successfully get some out of the wyvern sack.
Okay.
Hey Nate, can I ask you a quick question, just real quick, about the necklace of prayer beads? So I
Yes.
gave away all the beads but one because I needed a way to talk to the planar ally when I sort things out. Is the bead specific to the spell, or can any of the beads on the necklace do any of the 3 spells? You know what I'm saying?
The bead is specific to the spell.
Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of. So I need to start prepare. I'm gonna get rid of Bane. I'm gonna start Bless instead.
Cool.
I'm gonna get rid of Cure Wounds and stuff. Just need a bigger heal. Fucking.
All right, and after the fiasco last night, Kelly, you don't trust the first, 3 places that you stop. You're like, this looks pretty good. And you look around and you look around. You're like, no, I just, something about it. We're just going to go. You do that a couple of times before finally settling in, and you're like, this is it. This is the perfect spot for the night. And it absolutely pans out great. Feel good about it. And you are ready for your next day of travel. I need a D12 for the next day.
I just rolled the last one.
I'm happy to roll again if neither. Lori's
Go
not
for
going to
it.
do it, but if
Really
Patty
good.
and.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe I can't read my. There it is, D12. Okay, no Arnie rolls. It's a 12.
Oh. Most excellent.
Arnie, put the dice down!
So as you're traveling, sorry, it's taking a really long time to load the encounter. As you're traveling, you see a few large boulders off one side of the sort of path that you're taking, where it's a little bit raised and you can move a little easier. Well, you're running across the water. You see off to the side, on the right side of where you're going to pass, 2 fairly large boulders. Number of trees off to the left, and you hear laughter. Just, it sounds like young women giggling.
I'll look for a source.
And as you look over for a source, you see Callie and Mama. A young elven woman, maybe in her 40s, quite young, wrapped in some, it looks like maybe leather, kind kind of pokes out from behind one of the small trees on the left side of where you're passing by, and kind of waves over to you, and then ducks behind the tree.
Does this elven woman kind of look like the daughters of the forest that we previously have encountered? Like the swamp variety, maybe?
Um,
Swamp Dryad is playing at Coachella this year.
you should check out their stuff on YouTube, though. No, so
SoundCloud.
they they look like an elf, honestly, and they're in this leather, and you've got them at a distance. So I would say like no.
Okay.
If you wanted to assess them more carefully, you'd have to get much closer to them.
Yeah. Mama, you're usually a pretty good talker. Good with people. Do you want to roll up with me? I will knock an arrow and we'll see, get a little closer. I mean, I
We're in
sense a
the
trap.
swamp running. What
Yeah.
makes you think that that's going to be helpful when that tree told me that the only people who stay in the forest eat other people?
There. I guess we'll, try to give a birth then. Keep an eye out for other leather-clad ladies.
I mean, would she look like a druid to me? I mean, she's wearing leather, but
Um,
I mean, I wear leather.
does it,
she
does
looks.
it not?
She only had this this wrap of leather, and wasn't carrying any weapons, wasn't carrying any gear, didn't have a pack, was just sort of out here, just like in minimal clothing, no gear, laughing, splashing around in the water.
Hallie, that sounds like danger to me. Creepy, too. Plus, I heard that laughter echoing. I don't think that's a good thing. Let's hightail it.
Okay.
I agree with Hazel.
Well,
All right.
hightail it.
Nothing. My
So
mother
you're trying to
called
give
me
them a
Hazel.
fairly wide berth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. As you pass within about 50 feet of these two large stones on the right side, you see one of them just shifts just a little bit, just like rotates, and then stops.
To like watch us as we pass.
But as you ride on by, nothing bothers you. You pass on the rest of the day's travel without issue.
Okay, Nate. Okay.
All right, somebody roll a d12 for the night.
Are we?
I got it. Arnie can't do it 2 times in a row.
Are we stopping
So-
there for today, or where are we?
I want to just see if anything happens at night, and then we'll see.
Okay.
We will definitely be stopping very shortly.
Okay.
Arnie rolls a 3.
Yeah.
All right. You make it through your night uneventfully, prepared for your last couple of days of travel. It's already starting to get drier land. It's already starting to head and slope upwards a bit. And in the few breaks in the trees later in the day, you've been able to see the mountain in the distance that you will be presumably climbing in just a couple days. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm going to wrap it there. We'll pick up next week as we finish out the travel and get to the actual mountain temple of Saloon. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next week. Same Derek time, same call-in channel. Bye.
Bye.